Hello and welcome to the Abusecartoons Monthly Livestream. So new schedule and still same old voice. So the reason I was missing was also all sorts of delays and reasons, but yeah, my voice still isn't back up to full strength, so apologies for that. So yeah, this will be everything for June and actually one for May. But I decided to just do a single longer stream. I know, probably shorter daily streams would be much more effective, but I thought I'd just spend some time getting everything done for the month. There was so much interference with a weekly schedule, and I kept moving things around, and then just had to miss the week. So I think most of May, I think I was only around for 1 week in May. So let's catch up with that now, and hope everyone is doing okay. And then you just have one live stream to try to catch during the month. So good luck with that, because who knows when that's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to have any regularity, but it'll be a nice long one, so you'll eventually be notified at some point. But that should help my schedule a lot, so I can get more other things done. I always am kind of losing a day, a week to this live stream, and it doesn't work out. Although it's wonderful to be with everybody on the stream, it's just not very time effective right now. So let's get started. And hey, Matt showed up in the chat. How's it going? So Matt is going to be running some action adventure this weekend on the other channel, on the Upturned table live stream. We're going to play some kind of Indiana Jones the Mummy style adventure game, and I can't wait to see how that goes. All right, I think my pen is cooperating. There we go. Nice. So but I think I'm going to wear Matt out pretty fast. I think it's midnight. Midnight for him. So thanks for popping on. All right, so I'm just going to do some simple ideas and not fuss around with drawing 100 boxes while I'm thinking of the best approach, because we've got 9 cartoons to get through and only, 5 hours to do it in. All right, probably be more like 4 hour stream, but we'll see how that even goes. So try a poor little bucket with a handle. Buckets have never fared well in this cartoon, so we'll see how it goes. I think one of the earliest cartoons was about being anything. It was better to be anything other than a bucket. So they've been discriminated against this whole time. All right, let's try something like that. Oh, I couldn't stand it anymore. I'm not sure when it's coming to the theaters in Japan, but I saw Furiosa. I don't know how. It just magically appeared somehow, but it was fun. I mean, I wouldn't mind those kind of movies coming out more often. But, following, and I guess it's good that it had some distance from Fury Road, because it would have been hugely disappointing, I think, to follow up such a spectacle. But also I think the technology changed, so maybe the production was a little less strenuous. But oh, nice. Poor buckets. We'll have to do something uplifting for the bucket. But yeah, was it just me? It may have been my copy, but was there a lot of that undercranking thing? Because I remember that for the little like wild boy, the little with his little boomerang from Mad Max 2, that they undercranked him so he kind of like ran at a faster pace. He kind of moved quicker. But it seemed like some scenes when they were getting in and out of cars and things, it seemed like it was a little undercranked, so the motion was being sped up. I kept getting kind of freaked out by what I was. It was like, was that what I'm seeing? Because there was a lot more of that, and it didn't like rhythmically make as much sense as like how I've seen it used before. Yeah, but I think even Fury Road didn't do well, which is insane because that's it's an amazing movie, and I can't believe now people are doing reviews, online reviews for Furiosa. They start off with, "I didn't really like, Mad Max Fury Road." Like, really, really? Okay, wow, that was one of the best, cinematic experiences in like a decade, and it was okay. Yeah, I didn't really like it, but I guess it's a taste, it's so over the top, and if you are offended by the use of little people or kind of how extremely he's depicting like I don't know, milk prisoners or whatever, like I guess there's some things that could turn people off, especially nowadays with sensibilities, but just visually and everything, and how it I like how it just, that setting is what it is, and there's no explanation. I think the mistake going deeper into that lore and trying to explain anything about why people do what they do is pretty unnecessary, and so that maybe it's good that it doesn't have this rabid fandom like Star Wars or whatever, trying to explain every little thing. But yeah, but it was enjoyable. It's an odd choice. I think though, I read somewhere that this screenplay was already done, or like a draft of it or whatever, or maybe just like a treatment when they did Fury Road, and so Charlize Theron like read this story to try to, understand what her character, where she was in her life and what she'd been through, kind of, so she had backstory. And that definitely makes that, her utter despair at the death of the green place. This definitely makes that much more understandable, because how she left it, yeah, it was pretty terrible that she never made it back, because it didn't exist anymore. But that was so good, even without the context of Furiosa. That was still such a good thing. It's like, yeah, you just drove through it. That creepy swamp. Yeah, that was it. So disturbing. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to see it theatrically. I saw it on a very large screen, but I'm not, but it wasn't quite theatrical. Just because sound-wise and everything, I think it would be really good. I was a little bit disturbed, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on with like the obviously kind of Wish.com Max that was there. There was another guy that kind of had the same look, or just like a central casting version of kind of bloated Mel Gibson. I don't know. I guess Mel Gibson is the bloated Mel Gibson, but yeah, there was another that kind of character, and that was it was, I liked his part in the story, but I didn't quite know why they didn't make him more unique, like why there wasn't something else, why he wasn't just a Max. Yeah, but maybe that, was supposed to explain her being able to work with him, having already had experience with a partner that, they kind of started pointing guns at each other, and then realized they needed each other. Yeah, so maybe that was the point of him looking so similar to Max. Oh, and Matt, have you seen the theory. People are always just trying to, make things work for them, and they can't just let things be. They can't just let Max be this like folk hero that doesn't have a look, isn't a specific actor, and can't just change every movie because these are just stories told after the fact about Max. But the theory to make the timeline of Fury Road makes sense, that the Tom Hardy Mad Max is the little wildling, the wild boy, all grown up. It was the kind of, I guess, was he the narrator? I guess he did end up being the narrator for Mad Max 2. So that sort of thing, like, yeah, he was inspired by that type of character and became that type of character. And I think the only reason people are doing that is because Max had long, that Fury Road had long hair at the beginning of the movie, but just like he did at the beginning of Thunderdome. So I don't know. But people are just trying to justify everything so that they can live with it. They can accept these decisions. You don't have to. It's okay. Yeah, a lot of unnecessary. But I thought that was a funny way to try to connect things. But it would be fun. If these keep going, I don't think they can without George Miller, but if they kept going and there was like a connective character, there was like the character that's witnessed, the things that happened or that Max did in the previous movie that then became the Max. And then that would make sense that it could even be a woman. It could be anybody, it doesn't even have to look the same. And people just call themselves Max. But I like the idea of how haunted and crazy he was in Fury Road. I thought that was really cool. Because, yeah, that was supposed to, that was kind of the reason for his character losing his wife and kid in the first one. That was the reason for his character being like that. That's pretty terrible. But, yeah. I don't know. But we got to figure out how to make Outgunned do Mad Max. Or suggest that as one of the action flicks. That isn't one, is it yet? Not yet. I saw they were doing a... I can only think of Army of the Dead. That's the third one, though. The Bruce Campbell horror. Chainsaw Hand... something dead something. I can't believe I can't think of it. Yeah, but I saw that they unlocked that. That'll be fun. So not zombies, but like demon fighting the possessed. Evil Dead, thank you. Something dead. I knew it was dead something. Yeah, I could only think of Army of Darkness. That's the only one. The least like the rest of them. Yeah, so it looks like they've got an Evil Dead action flick for Outgunned. That would be fun. And it would be fun to start out as the just the teens in the cabin. Yeah, that would be fun to actually try to make a campaign out of that. And it doesn't even, it can make as little sense as the actual, movies do. Yeah. So, yeah, Matt's saying, the Mad Max story is supposed to be fables. They can change all the time. Yeah, I think that kind of unreliable, just like retelling of some fantastic event is great. Yeah, and there were still some really amazing visuals in Furiosa. Just like, it wasn't like a single thing, that was just like the thing that was impressive about Fury Road for me was just like one single chase, basically one single event that they sustained and had, a lot of intensity. It had some really major disaster in it. All right, how about a glass of some ice cubes? Yeah, I just really enjoy the bizarre creativity in those in that world. And I guess there's like, graphic novels or whatever. There's, there is treatments of that. So hopefully that stuff will still exist, because George Miller is not young. Hopefully there's going to be some way that's going to... I hope some studio, doesn't end up owning it, though. And, trying to squeeze it for everything it's worth, like Star Wars, after George Miller passes. We got a lot of talented, very old directors right now. I think we're going to have this like run. There's going to be a year where we're going to lose like, Scorsese and George Miller and the Alien director Ridley Scott. Like there's a bunch of guys in their 80s. It's just like, oh, there could be a real bad year coming up where we could be confronted with they'll never make another movie. But I think health-wise, yeah, most of them might be at that point anyhow, unless they can do a lot of it digitally, sitting in a chair, George Lucas style. That'd be cool if Lucas outlasted the custody of Star Wars. If like Disney just gave up on Star Wars, and he got to watch it go somewhere else. Right. Yeah, he just had an interview. I didn't listen to any of it, but yeah, he did an interview and doing his usual nonsense, talking to people about what what it should have been, or what should have happened, and how he was mistreated. I would tolerate being mistreated for what, $4 billion or $6 billion or whatever he got paid. Yeah, I guess that's worth a little bit of insult. It's worth a little bit of people not returning your phone calls. Oh man. All right. Oh, I played some over the weekend with Nick. Played some more Tag Raid, the kind of skirmish board game with like a mining theme set in the Infinity universe. So it uses the Infinity rules. You're rolling the D20s, the 2D20s, but it doesn't have the precision, because you're using hexes, and you're just using, you're not using inches. You're just using range. So close, medium, long range and things. It's fun. That world is really fun. Like there's a lot of enjoyment in the really measuring fractions of inches and looking at the silhouettes of miniatures to see how much they're in cover, and that almost like laser pointer, precision you have to use for targeting other people's units on the board for Infinity. But it's also fun simply because those mechanics of rolling the dice are really fun. So you get a reaction. So to do something, to shoot at someone, you roll 2, or however many shots you get, however many shots you're taking, and a lot of guns are at least 2. You're rolling that many dice, D20s, and the unit you're targeting or anybody else that can see you can shoot back at you. Or dodge what you're doing, and but they're only rolling 1d20 for a response. So reactions are all 1d20. So you're trying to roll under your ballistic skill on a d20, and they're trying to roll under their dodge skill or their return fire skill. And if you're under, but you're under too far, and they're under their score, but their score is higher than yours. So say, for instance, a ballistic skill is a 14 and a dodge is a 12. So a little bit harder. The dodge gets, person dodging rolls an 11 on one dice, and the person with the 14 ballistic skill rolls an 8 and a 2. Those are both hits, but the dodge is a higher value than both of those successes, so it cancels them out. So there's, it's very, very interesting. So returning fire is a real interesting thing, because you can actually, if someone shoots at you, if you've got a good ballistic skill, you can return, you can actually make them regret targeting you with certain roles. So I like that a lot, that there's always a chance to have a nice reaction. And then for dodging, then you get to move a certain number of inches or a length in that game. So back into more cover, or actually towards objectives or whatever. And so if you have to pop out from behind cover and 3 people see you, and you're only targeting one of them, they can all return fire on you, or they can all dodge, to get into better cover. So it's an interesting. I like those mechanics, and it's fun with a lighter game because you don't have to. Infinity is very, very specific, and having it be a little bit more playful, and also the theme is more playful. So you're basically on alien planets, looking for this valuable mineral and competing. And so you've got a tag. A tag is just a big mech, and then you've got miners and engineers and hackers that are assisting them, and each one of the missions has a different combination of those two. So it's a fun little, light version. It's got a nice campaign, and it's got big monsters, big like worms, like rock worms and things that you disturb during the mining process. So it's good to attack them as well, because you can get another valuable substance from them. But then, you also have to make sure you're not getting killed. But the reason that it's lighter too is when the unit dies, it respawns. So that makes it a much lighter game. And you can kind of strategically take a unit out. You can, intentionally get your unit taken off the board so that you can respawn in a better location. Like if you're kind of pinned down, you can just, give it up. Yeah, it was a Kickstarter. Infinity, the Corvus Belli has been doing a lot of support. They have almost like a Mario Kart board game set in the Infinity universe with kind of chibi looking characters. They're doing a lot of stuff, but Nick is painting almost exclusively Corvus Belli stuff. So he had painted the whole set. Everything we were playing, from the big mechs to the all the little robots and everything, was all painted beautifully. He's been painting for years now on Twitch, and so it's gotten really good. So it's so nice to play with just beautiful miniatures, beautifully painted miniatures. That you get so spoiled, just like, oh, this is wonderful. Everything looks so good. So yeah, it's fun. It's nice. Unknown Girl, how's it going? Oh, good. Yes, my new monthly schedule. So sorry, we'll be doing. Things are going to be going a little quicker. Maybe so just a longer stream. But once a month, I think, is a better situation. And that can change, of course. But it just doesn't seem, I can't give up a day. And it was even hard to make a day where I had, where I could have 2 to 4 hours that, nothing was going to be happening. I wasn't going to, have to go pick up anybody or answer the phone or answer the door or anything. So, and when I was only person home, that I can't do that. I can't just ignore everything. Unfortunately, wow, the luxury of people just like sitting in there. Maybe my mom's basement doesn't sound so bad after all, because she would answer the door and she would answer the phone, and I wouldn't have to do anything. So this will be the new thing for a while. So it'll be that'll unfortunately mean less snacks. That's probably good for my waistline, but only to have one snack a month. Oh no! Wait a minute! I changed my mind. This is a bad idea. Let's do that kind of fold that shoeboxes have. But yeah, this will work well, at least for over the summer, because I've got visitors. I've got family visiting and stuff. So they're here for a week, and I'm like, I'm gonna need to take a day off and do my streaming. Yeah, I don't know how, because I can't play games anymore. I really have trouble playing PC games or console games, because it just feels like such a waste of time. I'm just like, it should be, there's so much other stuff I need to be doing. So it gets harder and harder to, I guess I just have to get the work-life thing more balanced. So I'm feeling like, okay, now it's my time, because I really don't feel like I have any my time. So that's why everything feels so, I'm so guilt-ridden. Yes. Oh yeah, if it's snacks, a daily snack stream would be I'll pop on for 5 minutes just to stuff something in my mouth and then go off stream. Okay, so every time I eat a snack, I'll stream. That would be the way. Yeah, you get the notification, and then I'm just like finished chewing by the time you can find the stream, and then it's over. There we go. Yeah, make the bucket a little fatter. Okay, bucket needs a sponge, I think. Let's try that. Yeah. It's funny how all this stuff is developing. Yeah, Nick was talking about the same sort of thing. So now on Tabletop Simulator, you can play a lot of miniatures games and board games like people have built. And these are all like fan-made, basically. They've built up these, all the pieces and dice and everything and cards. You can, do that really easily in Tabletop Simulator. So a lot of popular games, or even games that aren't out yet, that are just in like kind of play testing, people can play with each other online. And so just through his painting stream, he's found people to actually play games with, because they're both painting the miniatures because they like the game. So yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I think there are some positive social aspects, and Matt, like I wouldn't know Matt without without the Upturned Table channel and the podcast stuff. So that's a huge benefit from this kind of new social interaction, because that was the game group was going pretty good for a while. We had like a good 5 years where we were meeting really regularly and playing a lot of great stuff. But just the chemistry kind of changes so much when certain people leave, like the balance of the group. And as soon and when people are leaving, they're always like, oh, we'll play remotely, like set up put a laptop on the table, and I can still play, but the time difference is just too big an obstacle, because the groups can only meet in person after work, or in the late afternoon, evenings, on weekends, and that's never a good time for actually I can't put so many holes in the sponge, can I? Or else there's not going to be any eyes. Yeah, it's just it's too difficult. And playing games and like watching people drink and whatever when it's like 7 a.m. for you is not the same not the same fun. But yeah, and I think the biggest thing is like everyone started having kids and obligations. That's part of my problem just with streaming too. Is there's just too many other obligations, and you can't, like, I can't give this priority. It's something that it's difficult. Oh, that's what I should. Yeah, every time I just go into 7-Eleven, it'll start with the bing bong of the walking in the door. Yeah, but I think we're going to see, I've already seen some of these signs in Japan, but I think more and more you're going to see no streaming, like no video, no photos. Already there were a lot of no photos in shops and things, because what some like foreign students would do, people that are here like going to university, they would go into like used game stores or bookstores or whatever and just take pictures of the shelf and say and then put an ad on social media and say anything you want to buy here, plus $5 or whatever, plus shipping and like $10 and I'll send it to you. So people were doing really weird things where they were like running their own store from someone's brick and mortar store. They were running their own little scam. So a lot of those shops have no photos now, but now because of like people licking, sushi on the conveyor belts and stuff that they obviously learned from Americans licking ice cream, there's a lot of contempt and kind of prohibiting you doing live streams now, which sucks, because there were some people that were really doing a nice job sharing like beautiful Japanese scenery, historic sites and things. But then there's also people that are just somebody recently just in English spray painted toilet on one of the carved stone like markers for one of the old temples in Japan. So yeah, there's a lot of nonsense going on from foreigners. It was done in English, but you never know if that means it's a foreigner or not. But yeah, so there have been a couple, and they're really serious about it too. There was a kid that like the on the table there's where there would be like salt and pepper in Japan. There's like mustard and soy sauce, especially in the sushi restaurants. And some kid on his live stream, like it was like a little teapot, like it had a spout, and he like put it to his lips and drank from it, and then put it back on the table. And that kid got fined. I think he got sued. He got sued by the restaurant because the name of the restaurant was obvious to see where he was. So they sued him for damage to their kind of reputation, or people not going there because they think it's unclean. And I think he had some sort of criminal fine as well. So they're pretty serious about it. Yeah, it's so disgusting on the rotisserie. Of course, it's only Americans would be tempted to do that, and Japanese would only get the idea to do that from watching Americans. The kids. Have you seen those kids go into like the giant supermarkets or like Walmarts with the walls of freezer doors, and they'll just open a door, take a pint of ice cream, peel off the film, lick it, and put it back. Yeah, so that was getting attention a few years back. So and anything to anything for attention. Okay, so we got shoebox and a lid. Do a bowl and the scoop. Oh, we're already we're getting there. Already making some progress. Although it's going to take me hours to write these things, I'm sure. Yeah. And I think the first one that happened where a kid was fined is all he did is take his smartphone and put it on the belt of the restaurant. But that meant, because it was facing out, and that meant as it went around the restaurant, it recorded everybody at every table or every seat in the place. And that's not okay. In Japan, you can't record people in public without permission, which is interesting. And I think that's mostly done to protect the reputations of like salarymen, like office workers, and people that just had too much to drink that literally just puke their guts out and collapse in the street and sleep it off, because you see a lot of that. So they don't want those people being photographed, even though it's kind of embarrassing or kind of shameful behavior. They should be a little more careful about their drinking habits. But and also to that's another tool to go against people doing public toilet and like upskirt stuff. Of course, there's a lot of maniacs doing that. Oh, and also minors. Yeah, to protect minors. I've talked about this before, but that was the thing that broke my heart. Is they have sports festivals, which is a cute little kind of like little school Olympics that happens in the primary school age, and even the kindergarten has a version of this. And so all the classes in school compete against each other as teams, and they do all, they kind of like, lighter versions, but everybody can participate because it's not too strenuous, and you can choose to be in an event or not. So it's very cute. And what used to happen is that would attract the whole neighborhood, like all the old people in the neighborhood, even if they didn't have kids at the school, everyone would come and watch, and it would be just a big neighborhood event. So they would play music really loud. There'd be a lot of music, and there'd be a performance part of it where they do like traditional dances or some little, choreographed routine, and a very like kind of bring the neighborhood together kind of thing. And then they started to get the perverts. Well, I think once like digital cameras and plus once it was easier to get video and photos online, so probably like late 90s, early 2000s, they started having to watch the people that were there. And because video would start to show up online of like, because they wear in PE, you wear kind of tiny little shorts, like the shorts are almost like a brief, like a bikini, not a bikini, like just a brief style. So for little kids, there's a lot of things that a pervert would probably they could just change the uniforms, but they're into that kind of tradition. But yeah, so there's a lot of kids being photographed by perverts with cameras and photographed. And so once that stuff started showing up, they just restricted it all to family only, and you have literally passes. You can only have so many of your relatives, and they watch very carefully for people that are, because the people that were perverts could kind of hide amongst the parents filming, because all the parents had cameras out recording, and then the perverts would be zooming in on their prey. So that was pretty horrible that had to die, just because men here can't control their weirdness or just the value of that stuff online. Maybe not only a financial but also maybe clout in your little pervert community. So that was really sad. That's a little too crazy at the bottom here. Yeah, really sad that kind of stuff had to happen. But I'm also happy that it happened before my daughter was doing that. So I wasn't in the transition period and didn't have to like break a guy's camera against his head when I noticed he was recording my daughter. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. How about a banana? Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah. I can't remember which one it is, but one of the Apple stores here thought they were so cool, because you know how the Apple stores are kind of over designed. They did a glass spiral staircase like up to this like second floor. I don't know if that's where like the lesson area is or whatever, but they did a glass spiral staircase, and like the worst possible thing you could do in Japan is do clear stairs. And so immediately they had to rope off under the stair area. No photos, no camera, no video. Like, you don't know. Or maybe it was Apple, probably, not Japan making those decisions, but Apple corporate making those decisions. But yeah, don't do that in this country. Anyhow. Okay, let's start moving some of this stuff over. And I guess I should, well, no, I guess everything can go up at the same time. We're already past the upload deadline for today. All right. So what do we got here? Let's do our bucket and sponge. Yeah, I think that's the, they're talking about the good social things happening with the internet. That's the bad social thing, is people with bad ideas can share them and share their results of their bad thinking. All right, and a sponge. There we go. Yeah, because if you have a group of people that are kind of, that you have clout with, Okay, where did I put that then? Here? Oh, yeah. Because you're doing stupid stuff. Yeah, it's just encouraging it. All right. This new system is not going well here. Also, I was sick, so I was out. I missed a bunch. I missed, some work and stuff this week, and just stuck at home just trying to get my voice back. And so I was watching a bunch of Humphrey Bogart movies on Tubi, I think it was. Because it was frustrating. It's just like frustrating the weird catalogs that a lot of the streaming, and there's not. I'm sure there's classic, like I'm sure what AMC or whoever has their own streaming platform. But it's hard to find classic films and not have to pay for them on Amazon Prime. So I was watching like Dark Passage and Key Largo and a bunch of the Maltese Falcon and just the stuff I haven't watched in a long time. But Peter Lorre in Maltese Falcon is so good. There's some really good performances in that movie. But yeah, good stuff. I'm glad that will be accessible and will exist forever because there's some really good movies. And I like Bogart's Philip Marlowe and his other characters, because they're not they're not like over the top tough guys. I didn't like his, just because it changed, like the tough guy thing. Definitely by the 60s and 70s changed a lot, and I just like how he does it. All right, so let's do that and the bag. Okay, wow, almost there. And shoebox. This is probably going to need something else, I think. Or maybe just some tissue paper. All right. All right. Oh, yeah, that would be fun. Trying to draw some tissue paper. Oh, yeah, right. Oh, no, girl, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty thick, the glass staircase, but that's true though. Like it is kind of scary, and I'm sure it's not glass. I'm sure it's like that. It's some kind of acrylic thing. So if it broke, it would still like if it cracked, it would only be a layer, and it would structurally be very sound. But it was kind of 3 or 4 inches thick, like very big thick slabs. But yeah, that's true. I think about that with glass top tables all the time, or desks. that have a glass surface over on top. It's like it makes me nervous because I never know when I'm gonna slam something down and go, oh damn. And I've broken a couple of big pieces of glass in my days, so a little nervous about that always. Yeah, it's just such a look what we can do. Interior design thing. All right. All right. So where does that put us? Oh, that's it. Yep. So that gets us to 5, I think. Let's put this back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, nice. I think this should be ice cubes or something. Yeah, maybe I'll draw a glass to go with that and some ice cubes. Oh, too big scoop joke. Cool. All right. Oh, you guys got bird flu. Oh no. Yeah, there's been weird colds, like respiratory stuff and colds. I'm not sure if it's avian flu or not. But interesting. Yeah, it's been seasonably colder than usual because every time it rains, it's the beginning of the rainy season. Every time it rains, it dips below 20 here. So that's pretty weird. At night, you can't leave the window open because it's pretty cold, and wet and cold is not great. Sugar. Oh, yes, I have, Matt. I was trying. Is that a movie? No. That's the Apple series. Yes, I have watched Sugar, and I've been very frustrated by Sugar because I like Colin Farrell. I like his act. I loved him in True Detective. His like washed up, fucked up, giant mustache cop in True Detective. But yeah, that character frustrated the hell out of me. And so, have you gotten to the reveal? It was kind of pretty obvious. It was pretty easy to kind of figure out where they were headed with their mystery. But did you get to the reveal episode? I haven't watched. I think I've got. That was the second to last episode, and I haven't watched the last episode because it was coming out weekly, and so I was keeping up with it. And once they did the reveal, I'm like, oh, fuck this. What did you think about Sugar, Matt? And I hate the fact that it's a fucking AI video. Painted like fake paint on glass AI video opening on that show. That pisses me off so much. I don't want to see, just like they did with Secret Invasion on Marvel. Yeah, that really pissed me off. Yeah, so what I'm curious I'm curious your thoughts on it. There were things I liked about it, and some performances were pretty terrible. And I was really wondering where they were going, like what they were going to do with it. And then when they got there, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, it was strange. Oh no, Gross said I have a glass dining table. The glass is so heavy trying to put. Oh, right. Yeah, that's always crazy too. Yeah, picking up a one giant pane of glass, like especially if it's seated and like little crumbs and stuff can get in the that edge. You want to like lift a corner up and kind of clean it out. But it's so scary. Nice. Okay, I won't spoil anything, but I'm sure you already have figured out where it's going, and that kind of disappointed me a little bit. I thought it was going to be better than that. Yeah, but it's it's kind of film noir, but it's got a lot of other stuff, and I like the fact that he's like obsessed now. Like it reminded me of the obsession in once I get the wrong answer in my head, not Farscape, but the sci-fi. God damn! I think because of the E, the sci-fi one that moved from I think Sci-Fi Channel originally and I think Amazon finished it, and whatever. But the way the detective in that sci-fi got obsessed with the victim. I liked the same noir, yeah. The way that he gets obsessed with this girl and like what happened to her, what's going on. I like that. Expanse, thank you, yes. Yeah, so I like the in the first season, how it just became like he had to solve this problem and had an interesting. I like when he like found her. It was like an interesting resolution. I like that a lot, and they're not going to do that with this, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious what they're doing. I think I've only got one more episode, so I don't think they can do a very satisfying ending. And maybe they're not going to yet. Maybe they're not going to. Maybe the same case will continue into another season. But yeah, I like the 60s aesthetic too, and the fact the guy. That's the other thing though is sometimes that's done well, and sometimes I like it, but other times it sticks out. And even in this show, I think it's like sometimes I like, oh, that's cool, and sometimes it's frustrating. But his like. It's like in the movies, and I like movies, and I'm driving around LA and movies, and you love movies, and everybody loves movies. So but there's kind of a reason. It makes sense that he's obsessed with like cinema and like movie culture in a way, and I won't spoil it. But I don't like LA, telling itself how great it is and what a legacy it has. Even though I was just talking about how great 40s Bogart movies are. I don't think that has no connection to current Hollywood. But just LA patting itself on the back so much in its media is a little annoying. But there is kind of a reason. I think there's a very kind of logical story reason that's that makes it different. Oh, and apologies for the weird webcam. My regular camera, the PC could not see it at all. So my regular camera is out of commission. So I had to choose between pink and green for my skin tone. So I went with pink. And also because green was like highlights and stuff were keying out. So yeah, it's like a 12-year-old Microsoft webcam. So that's why it looks so terrible. But yeah, I just make it nice and small. Yeah, the webcam is very weird now. And I was surprised all of the, because it's got like auto white balance and autofocus and stuff. And maybe just because it's old and the drivers aren't good for it in like current Windows, it was doing just crazy stuff. Like the keying on the green screen because the white balance thing, it was an auto white balance. So it kept like rebalancing the video. So boom, 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 boom. It was really, really strange. I think maybe because the combination of the kind of lights that I'm using, like LED lights and stuff, are maybe freaking it out. I wonder if that's a thing, if like a lot of old webcams were designed to like mostly be dealing with fluorescent and incandescent lights, and now LED lights are a little bit different, so their sensors don't work well. I don't know. Something is odd. And it just wouldn't stop like white balancing the video, so it was very strange. I feel like I've done a million bread bag jokes. Well, maybe this just can be bread. Yeah, sugar. I had hopes for that. I read a few lines of the interview with Colin Farrell talking about the character and the intensity of the character and stuff, and said, "Oh, this sounds good," especially if they're going to do kind of a film noir style. But after watching it, it got kind of, it wasn't perfect, but it's fun. It's got some fun stuff. And of course, the production is so nice. The stuff on Apple TV Plus, whatever it's called, is so good. Oh, did you see that, Matt? I don't know if you're still, if I've lost you yet, Matt. But did you see? The talk has been going on since last year, but I think one of the reasons that Paramount Plus Dungeons and Dragons series was canceled is because Paramount is kind of up for grabs. Like people are trying to make offers and trying to figure out how to buy up. So the Zaslav, that whatever that thing is now, Discovery, HBO Max, whatever that thing is, that monster was looking at Paramount and also somebody else. So maybe they're trying to make themselves look profitable or something by not losing money on Dungeons and Dragons. So they, I think that might have a big part of why they canceled the show. That's too bad. With all the, we got a lot of stuff, but there's also a lot of stuff we didn't get. We didn't get in this, like, loose with the money, big investment into streaming. There's some shows and stuff that would have been great if they actually happened, some properties and things. Like we didn't get Conan. We didn't get a good, so the only thing we have is that weird 90s Conan series. There's a lot of stuff that just didn't happen that would have been so nice. All right. Okay, we'll have a loaf off here. All right, what do we got here? Hey, you got to hit these guys, these guys, these guys. Oh, this needs some more, I think, for it to make more sense. Yeah, but we'll see what happens with that if Paramount Plus, because Paramount has a bunch of stuff. I think they have like CBS and 60 Minutes, and then of course Star Trek and other stuff. And they're doing South Park now, I think. So that'll be weird if that just all joins the mess that is Max, that is Discovery, whatever that combo that they came up with. I don't know why Discovery is the first. That was like when it was AOL Time Warner or whatever. It's like AOL. How the hell is AOL the thing that Time Warner leads with when they merged? AOL. I guess it was just alphabetical, but AOL Time Warner. It's so stupid. Remember those days? It's still, especially with I guess it's more the OSR community, you still see you still see people with and I don't mean to offend anybody that might be listening, but you still see people with AOL email accounts. You have had the same email for a long time. I can't even imagine. Hopefully the spam filters are really good on AOL, because I can't even imagine if you've had if you have a 20-year-old email account, like how many lists of how many spammers lists it's on. Yeah, because I want to change my my mobile email in Japan, because it's obviously on so many garbage lists. And I think that's from mobile games, because early days in Japan, mobile games, all you'd have to do to register is just your mobile email, and then they give you a code, and then of course they just sell it. They just sell your email, or have one of those, like, third-party networks of advertising. Oh, yeah, nice. Yes. Yeah, I have a Yahoo address I use that for. Yahoo spam filters stopped working years ago. So yeah, I have a for mobile games and stuff now, mostly I have a Yahoo address. Yeah, I probably, if I could figure out how to log in, I probably do have an AOL account, email somewhere. I don't even know what it was, though. Yeah, that's funny. AOL. Okay, you're officially part of the OSR, Matt, if you have an AOL.com account. But I think I've seen, like, it was a Star Trek, some guy doing the Star Trek Captain's Log or something, but he was doing a live stream and had only one monitor, so he would pop up, he would show you things he probably didn't want you to see, when he was like trying to get to the window that had the PDF up on it, and there was open AOL.com website with his email thing. Like, AOL mail, nice. That's a classic move. Pretty soon that's going to get cool, though. That's going to get cool with the kids, and they're going to want to get in on it, because they'll feel left out. Well, we never had that. You never got a bunch of those 40 hours free, or it wasn't even 40. I think it was like 100 hours free, a CD in the mail to get 100 free hours of AOL. Hourly internet. Can you even imagine hourly dial-up internet? Oh my God. Unknown girl says, oh wow, when I stop using an internet provider, the email connected to it no longer works. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know why AOL, like, just in perpetuity just gave people, like, those addresses, because that means they have to maintain servers. I don't know, but there must be some benefit to it. I don't even know who owns AOL. That's a fun Google. or what is AOL now? So it was acquired in 2009 by Time Warner. And AOL email, oh, it's owned by Yahoo. That's right. That made me so mad. There was a guy or a small company, like probably just a few developers, that did a really cool dynamic HTML email client. And I'm totally blanking on the name. But it was my go-to standard email. And it was so good. It worked so well, and it was just so light. You could open it in anything, and it was really, really done well. Yahoo bought it, like, just to implement the, implement the design and how they did it, because they handled the directory structures, and how they did everything was so good. And they bought it, and then they used like a few ideas from it, and that was it. They just were basically trying to eliminate it as a competition. But that email still forwards to my Yahoo mail. It makes me so sad, though, when I get messages like it was spam or something come and it's addressed to that, because I'm like, because so that client is gone. So as soon as they bought it, they took down the client and said, okay, now just use the Yahoo client to access all of this mail. We're forwarding that account. You give us your Yahoo account, we'll forward it to there. And that sucks so bad. Yeah, that was really, really nice. And if they would have kept developing it, I'm sure it would have been wonderful. So yeah, no. But in 2015, AOL was acquired by Verizon. So AOL, I guess the AOL email is Yahoo Mail. So maybe they bought that portion of it, but AOL is Verizon now. They paid $4.4 billion for AOL in 2015. Wow. Oh, wait, but then in 2021, they sold Yahoo. Oh, so they owned Yahoo too, I guess that's why. And they sold Yahoo and AOL to a private equity firm, Apollo Global Management, for $5 billion. So they made $600 million. So AOL is part of the new Yahoo Inc., managed by Apollo Global. Wow. That's depressing. Yeah, so it's all bundled into. So everything that failed is basically one ball of goo that's being passed around between asset management. I still don't understand why it has that value. That's interesting. But maybe it's just like a large enough, like if they never, deleted the user base, maybe the value is that user base. You can, do horrible senior citizen scams now to all those AOL addresses. That doesn't make any sense, though. That price. Ugh. Why should you stop using AOL Mail? For security measures, lack of encryption, and a history of breaches. Well, I don't think there's a single company that you can't say that, that exact same thing. Did you hear that, Matt? You got to stop using AOL. It's so funny. Yeah, very weird. Everything's going to be owned. I mean, I think most residential real estate is going to be owned by asset management companies now. You're going to be paying rent to an asset management company to rent a single-family house in the U.S. Ugh. Does this make sense? Like this? Almost. I guess I'll just have to redraw it. Right. Yeah, digital does make you lazy. It's like, what can I copy paste? Or I think I was doing that before. That symmetrical thing. So if I want to draw a vase or whatever, I can just have it mirror the one line. So you get perfect symmetrical drawings. $6,000 unchecked messages. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to checking anything from it. It doesn't matter, because that means you're not going to be, clicking on any executable files or any suspicious stuff. It's so crazy. Yeah, what would be interesting too, like when our parents go, like people that had to learn email and stuff late, after they pass, then everyone's going to be tech savvy enough, even if they're not like mentally all that competent, they're going to be tech savvy enough not to fall for the really lazy stuff that has worked. Okay, so 2 more, 3 more. The real lazy stuff that's worked in the past. But, you know, it's going to be AI tricking us then at that point anyhow. Oh, yeah, speaking of AI, I watched this video about how they upscaled True Lies. So, like, I think James Cameron movies, he's like being lazy. He's like, I don't got time for this. And he's being lazy about the 4K Blu-ray releases of like kind of his 90s classic stuff. And so Titanic and True Lies, I think Titanic, but this video is focusing on Aliens, the second Alien movie, and True Lies, that they just took the 2K Blu-ray master and upscaled it and like sharpened it with AI. I guess some of the same technology that they were using for the that was developed. I can't remember the name, but the Peter Jackson was developing it for the World War I footage, and then maybe the Beatles footage, but it was done maybe by people that didn't know the software well, or that, you know, just didn't understand. And the results are such garbage. And so we're going to start to think we're hallucinating when we're old and watching things on these high res screens. And you watch AI try to like figure out how to keep just a reflection on an eyeball, and it's just like surging and changing shapes, and people that are out of focus in the background, their eyes and mouth are just crawling around their faces because the shadows are like confusing the AI, so it doesn't know where to put mouths or eyes, and it's just like, it's going to get really disturbing. And already that uncanny sharpening that they're doing for the high res for 4K stuff is really weird. So what it did is it took like a 20-something-year-old Sigourney Weaver and it put these like lines in her face that were just black. They were so deep because it detected the lines and then it sharpened them. So it just added this like insane contrast. So she actually looks older in Aliens than she does in later movies. It's insane. Yeah, so that just the laziness. I think that's the unfortunately too many things in computer science address, you know, people that are just too lazy to do anything, or, you know, they're just trying to do it as hands off as possible, but it just comes across as lazy. And so these like 4K Blu-rays are not worth buying because the weirdness of the that effect, it'd make me just kind of nauseous, the way everything just strangely dances around when it's trying to decide what's going on, and like weird banding, color banding, and like there was a character in True Lies that was smoking, and his eye kept like doing this with the smoke because the software couldn't tell what was smoke and what was the white of his eye, and it kept like just, yeah, so weird. Yeah, so we're gonna think we're going insane pretty soon. Yeah, so, but that was depressing, that it's just like, oh, I got to make my 25 Avatar films. I don't have time to, you know, protect my legacy and take care of, you know, probably the last physical media format. I don't have time to do a decent version for my of my older films. So just take that 2K and feed it to AI and see what happens. Ugh. Yeah, it's like that or nothing is, you know, basically what we're going to be dealing with for a while, I think. Do you want the crappy auto-tuned version, or do you want nothing? It's like, yeah, I get that same feeling looking at that remake of Silent Hill 2. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite games. And it would be so nice if they just, upscale, just up-resed the all the assets in it. But they're doing that remake like with the Resident Evil stuff. But the Resident Evil stuff it still feels right. But this is getting weird. They changed the camera. They changed the design of all the characters, and I don't really care. It's just like they don't look like the same characters anymore. So it's not even like, shoot. It's not even going to have the same feeling. And of course, everyone's pulling it apart for their political and clout reasons, but it's just depressing that it's getting fucked with. And that they gave it to a non-Japanese company. I don't think you should remake. And that's why the Resident Evil remakes are good, because I think it's still Capcom doing them. Don't give stuff to non-Japanese studios, because that's what killed Silent Hill anyhow, is the sequels that were done by British and American game studios that looked like crap. All right. Missing some steps going from whole bean. There we go. All right. Well, those I think are composed enough already. What do we got? Yeah, speaking of nostalgia stuff, that another thing that one of the kind of computers, I think there was like Yahoo Messenger, like in the 90s. That was the stuff you'd have on your desktop. For a while there, that seemed like a good idea, but then it got way too distracting, because when I was working in companies like in the 90s, everyone would be on Messenger or ICQ, which is this other chat platform, and you just keep that up. You could have it open like a web version or some, I think it's just like a desktop software version, and have a little thing of active people, so you could constantly be asking people questions and stuff. And it's not email that they didn't check, but it did become invasive, because you saw things blinking all the time. And if you get too many people, especially people at other companies that you're dealing with and stuff, or clients and stuff, then you got all kinds of blinking messages to answer. But for a while, it seemed like without having to get up and walk to somebody's office or whatever, that was a nice way to coordinate stuff. And or even just like, what do you guys want to do for lunch, kind of things, or birthdays or whatever. That was really easy to plan stuff, when there was only SMS on your phone. But ICQ's going away. So, and I don't know if Yahoo Messenger is even a thing anymore. And I'm sure it's owned by an asset management company, so who knows? Oh, actually, I won't do that. I'll do that with color. I won't do it with... All right, how about a bite out of everything? Hey, Robbie, how's it going? Nice. Welcome to the the monthly stream. We've gone from weekly to monthly, but we should have some nice long streams now, instead of these little 1 hour insults to your time. All right, so just drawing the same old cartoon. Yeah. This frosting go a little bit lower. I don't even know if they make any of this stuff anymore. I'm just going to have memories of Hostess snacks that don't exist anymore. I'm sure they're owned by an asset management company if they do exist. yeah, maybe just a suggestion of that might work. What else? Oh no, that's right. I'm on the wrong layer. So just the suggestion of the cream filling and then that little edge where it's kind of darker. All right. Actually, Twinkie is rounder, isn't it? Oh, okay. Oh, we got two layers selected. How do they never add that, where you can have multiple layers selected and draw on them? That'll get even more mind-boggling with layer management. Come on. All I'm doing is making Matt stay up too late. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a really common thing. I think some of the IT guys at the company I was working at met Filipino girlfriends on ICQ. There's one guy that just disappeared to the Philippines. He like was this weird, quiet guy, nice enough guy, and then just then he said, "I'm moving to the Philippines, bye," and quit his job. Must be love. Yeah, because he never really talked about their wife and kids and stuff, and he never talked about anything. And suddenly he said, "Guess what, guys? I'm out of here." Yeah, I wonder what the. Oh, I'm sure now. Whoops, can I do this? What's going on? Oh, that's right. Distort. Now he's probably, if he's stuck with IT, he's probably doing great because of the remote stuff. What did I do here? Huh? Must be. Oh, there's a pixel that I didn't erase. There it is. But yeah, I think that was probably the beginning because I think ICQ was pretty maybe unlike Yahoo and some of the other stuff. I don't know. I think everything you sign up for anything, no matter where you were. But I think that was the one that had the most international kind of reach. Because I remember being on ICQ, like with designers in Sweden and stuff. Like I bought a font from like a Swedish graphic designer, and then he was on my ICQ forever. After that, yeah, because there was some reason I had to use that, maybe to confirm the purchase or something. I forget. But yeah, so it was kind of international, maybe one of the earliest. Oh, and of course, this is the last one I haven't done. Nice. Oh, MSN Messenger. That's right. It was, yeah, if I remember, ICQ was probably the like least polished of them. Seemed like a real early, it was real early stuff, and I don't know if it ever, again, I don't think I used it long enough to see like a more polished interface or whatever. It was just a real bare bones kind of Windows user, UI kind of thing with a real kind of clunky, like a flower, like a flower with like 5 petals on it or whatever. Real simple logo. And well, I think they were going for that. It was almost like, it looked like open source. Maybe it was, but it looked like an open source kind of thing. But yeah, then all of them worked almost identically. I think all of the chat apps at that time, and they all had like video and voice and stuff. But the text chat was the most useful because you could just have it. It would always be informing you a new message. Like they didn't pop up, but it was always like blinking, to tell you you've got messages. Yeah, I wonder. Maybe it was open source, and that's why like IT guys and stuff really liked it. So you could maybe do stuff with it, or you had a lot of control over, because it had that look of something that's just kind of put out there for free that they'll give you the source code for. Yep, but it's gone. All right, it's gone soon. I think they just put out a message of its demise. All right. Yeah, that'll be weird. Well, that was already, just talking about AOL, that was already weird to find out the strange trip it's been on in the past 10 years. Yeah, and I think just like, I guess I don't want to bring this up on YouTube, but I think they were hiding a lot of, human trafficking and CP trading and stuff on AOL. Those were the early days, earliest days of that. And I think the financial success of that platform had a lot to do with the kind of shady characters that were doing bad things on it. But now that's all mainstream now. No, but I always get that weird feeling, like when it was AOL Time Warner, I'm like, come on, how does America Online have the value of a Time Warner? But it's because of their wonderful, dedicated user base. Yeah. There we go. Paper straw wrapper. That's not even going to make any sense what this thing is anymore. My paper straws come. I guess paper straws have paper wrappers too now, don't they? All right. Yeah. It's funny too. There's been software like I never used I like how I start a sentence and I don't know the subject of the sentence and I start talking anyhow. Yeah, there's just been a couple of the short format video platforms that I never even used. Like they came and went before I even ever made an account. And I think TikTok's going to be like that. I don't think I'm ever going to, maybe if there's something funny we could do on the tabletop channel. But I don't think personally I'm ever going to have a TikTok account. I just don't need to rage at people, rage into my phone. But yeah, some of the short format video platforms came and went, and they're not even a thing anymore. And I never used it. And people became like stars on, not stars, but they became popular. They gathered the stars. They, collected a following on some of those platforms, and then when they disappeared, they kind of had to figure out where to take that content. So there's like compilations of their stuff on YouTube, and yeah, there was no good place for it to go. Yeah, it's really it's funny, and it's funny how all of this new technology is for the young. Like they know it. They know, or they should know by now, that that's what they're doing. Like the younger users are going to grab onto this stuff because they can learn it fast, and you want to figure out what they can do with it and how it like fits in their world. So they're going to be the early adopters, not just the goofy tech bros that design this stuff, or are all working at competing companies or whatever. Like they'll, I guess, once it's like in full release, it's going to be the young people picking it up. I guess until then, it is going to be all the tech guys playing with it. But what the normie kind of non-developer people decide to do with it is going to be very unpredictable. So it's funny that they just don't get that. They don't get yet. I think that it's all young people, so they have to accordingly, like these people aren't, their first and most kind of enthusiastic user base is going to be legally minors. You know, they're not actually going to be able to agree to user user licenses and stuff. Yeah. End user licenses. Yeah, they're not going to be able to agree legally to any of that. It's so funny. Yeah, how this is going. And they just, for some reason, picked 13. Is that, is there some legal basis or whatever? They just like randomly pick 13 to have a Instagram or Facebook or whatever. All right. Whoa, I think we did it. We got a ton of coloring to do. Yep. Oh, maybe these guys need some crumbs. Yeah, let me scale these up. And then we'll do some... Oh, actually, let's do it now. So the width of the pen and everything makes sense. It'll probably be more with the cupcake. Maybe a little... There we go. All right, now let's blow all of these guys up and see how it looks in the frame. All right. There we go. Wow, so this one I almost drew to scale into the... So, of course, the line is going to look thinner. Nice. Yeah. There's so much... And there was already a lot of people, too, that are just, like, talking about TikTok, so I feel like I don't even need to go on there. And I'm terrified of what... what I would start watching and then what I would just like, be stuck doom scrolling through. It's already bad enough on the reels and the stuff on Instagram and Facebook. I'm just like, ugh. Sometimes I get stuck. I'm just like, what am I doing? Why am I looking at any of this? All right. Is that too big? Maybe it's a little big. Yeah, I think I went a little crazy there. This line doesn't need to be that thick. There we go. All right. Big scoop jokes. Oh, wait. All of these are on the wrong layer. There we go. What? Where's that ice cube? Here it is. Yeah, I just can't believe how much like scolding goes on TikTok. And a lot of people like showing off some pretty intense mental illness. And a lot of people faking it too. That's interesting as well. I never thought we would be where people would, for like clout chasing or whatever, they'd be faking Tourette's or autism just to, just to make it their brand, or just because they knew that there was an audience for it. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Wait, let's not do this yet. I think I want a tissue paper or something going on in here. Yeah, it's funny. I wonder, and it's, interesting how the winners and losers, we'll talk a little bit about that on the weekly too. Because I guess Instagram just said, or Meta, just said, hey guys, guess what? We're training AI on all of your art you put on Instagram, folks. And then, so there's been an exodus of artists off of Instagram. And J. Scott Campbell, an American comic book artist, was making an interesting point, but I think it's a little bit wrong-headed. But he's just, he's already in one of those positions, the pull the ladder up kind of positions, because he's so wealthy from just selling original art and prints and his main advertising. So I'm going to be repeating myself on Friday, sorry. But his main advertising is social media. And he says, I've already built, 10 years or whatever, I built this, 5 years, I built this customer base. I'm not giving it up, just to try some untested thing. And I encourage other people not to do that too. It's like, yeah, if you're making 6 figures from it, of course. But of course, then you're locked in forever in a business arrangement with these shitty companies. And so then he can't argue at all. Or he has no kind of room to complain when he does see his style just become part of whatever, AI tools Meta is working on. You opted in. You thought you were making too much money to walk away. Interesting. Oh, Matt, if I haven't worn you out again, did you do board games? How did your board games, or how did your night after we did the review recording go? So that was your Saturday. Sorry to go that long. Yeah, we started. We were talking a lot before it, and then didn't get going fast enough, I think. And then did 3 hours. I think I'll definitely kind of try to make it as concise as possible. So if anything is too, like, I'll release, we can do like a full audio release for like Patreon, but then I'll cut it down for YouTube, because that's a lot of animation to do anyhow, to a more concise version. But thank you again, Matt, for taking so much time to do that. It's been so long since I've talked like review, because I've just stuck to the unboxings have kind of been like first impression review stuff recently, because that kind of works, like flipping through the book. You have enough of a sense of it. And a lot of the stuff we did for the previous podcast, anyhow, we didn't have time to play. So it's like, it's as a book, what were we calling it? A read-through review or whatever. Yeah, so it's like, we haven't played the game. So, okay, so you have no idea what you're talking about. Don't mind that. Yeah, it's like the video game reviews where they played the first level or the first part of the game and said, well, overall. Okay, those are loaves of bread, so I think that works. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, that's right. You were fighting stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm making it worse. Yeah, hurting your recovery. Sorry about that. Well, thank you for hanging in there. Because that's right. You had had some food poisoning, or we're dealing with some stuff. I'm still... So we recorded we'll have to say the 75% capacity review, because I think neither you or I was at full strength. My voice was just fading. I could feel it when I would ramble on too long, like well. There we go. See if I can get the bread color. Yeah, kind of. Then do like a redder raisin bread. All right. But yeah, it's good to get back on this more relaxed streaming. It's a thing with the weekly streaming is I can never feel relaxed. I always feel like I got to be paying attention to what's going on and making sure I know what I'm talking about. All right, just a little bit lighter. Yeah, there you go. Okay, and then I'll do some raisins. Maybe a little purpley. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Matt, about the you having to call off. Ooh, not dark enough. Yeah, I noticed too with the, and maybe that's also an explanation. It might not just be me, but I was talking about the game group kind of not meeting regularly. I think people after the pandemic too are just like, you don't realize how they need to get back to the social stuff, and it's just kind of easier recently to say, I really don't want to do that, or I don't feel great about doing that. But I've noticed I've had that feeling. So that's good that I'm playing online with you guys, because in a lot of cases I'm just looking for every excuse to not do something. That's really bad. That's really, can I sue Pfizer over that? Feels weird to just be so, maybe not. I guess this should be full strength. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Yeah, it's weird, the lingering effects. All right, and let me do a kind of a light edge as well. Oh, and maybe some of these raisins have a little bit of depth. They're not really raisins, are they? Are they raisins? Oh, I saw Netflix is getting Godzilla -1. So anybody that hasn't seen that, you should definitely watch it in the release. I'm so glad like Japan figured out how to make a Godzilla movie, because if you watch Godzilla Final War, I think it's Wars, you really realize why they gave up doing Godzilla films, because it was, just all this holdover from the cheesy 90s stuff, the cheesy Heisei, 90s stuff they were doing, where they didn't know what their audience was. They felt they had like a built-in audience of, older nostalgic nerds. So they were making it for kids. So it really, the quality of it felt so much like a kids, TV show, or like a summer movie for a like Kamen Rider or the, Power Rangers kind of stuff. You could tell they had no idea what they were doing. And the Godzilla, Shin Godzilla was, oh, actually, no, there's no slices in this bread. I'll just, make it. The Shin Godzilla was just such an art film. It just had too much, political statement in it to actually be the new style of those movies. But Godzilla -1, it's so good to see they kind of figured out a way to do this, to kind of keep the Showa era drama, like the, kind of more traditional melodrama of Japanese films, and make it entertaining, but keep it out of the hands of like kiddie summer movies. I think also, even though that's a sad thing, moving away from the rubber suit too. That sounds like blasphemy, I know, but I think that helped for them to have give it a different approach, because I think that was holding it back as well. Even though I think they are sculpting for the 3D, at least for Shin Godzilla, I think they sculpted an actual part of it, the suit. All right. red. I'm gonna have to hit this whole range. Nice. Cool. Matt said, I think reviewing games we've played on the stream is a good angle. Yeah, no, I really think that's good. Oh, they played Slay the Spire. Nice. It took 6 hours. Matt says, I'm not feeling great. And 6 hours of Slay the Spire does not sound compelling. Hey, mister, how's it going? Oh, I love how they managed the scale. Oh, yeah. Like I felt the massive size of the thing. Yeah. And it kind of reminded me to what Pacific Rim did with the first movie. Yeah, that's right. And Pacific Rim, they didn't continue that with the sequel. I don't know why, but I think the American Godzilla movies messed that up too, where they don't give you the sense of the scale because they want like a dynamic, agile kind of fight. So the monsters are jumping and moving, really quickly and dynamically. Yeah, but I think they do a good job of making things seem huge. And I think the rubber suit, the technique that they use for the rubber suit stuff helped with that because they would overcrank it, or they would undercrank it and they would move fast. Like when you would ever see like on the set, the guy in the rubber suit is like moving really crazy fast. Like that looks terrible, but they're undercranking it so that the movement is more, it has more lethargy or weight or stuff in it. But that was always so funny when they would do the takes. That had to be the hardest work because you can't even breathe in those big latex suits. And every move you've got to do, you have to do like at double speed because they're going to slow it down. I guess they're over cranking it because then that means more frames and that's slower. Yeah, so slow motion. So they over cranked Godzilla, so he's moving all crazy fast. But then it slows him down, so you've got enough like a smooth. There's not like a lot of like smearing and stuff in his movements. Overcranked that monster. Yeah, but I mean, I hope that whoever has Legendary or whoever has the American Godzilla license just decides to give it up. There's huge advertising too. That's what's so funny. There's huge advertising for the latest Godzilla collaboration with King Kong, Godzilla X Kong. That's the Japanese way to do collaboration, to put the X between the names. They always do it that way here. So it was funny that the American Godzilla was trying to trick you into thinking maybe there was a slight Japanese hand in this. Oh, let's make it a like a bright, playful kind of kids bucket. Let's do that. Yeah. So they're doing huge signs and promotion for that, but maybe Toho gets a piece of it too. So that's good if it's a licensed IP, and they've licensed it from Toho in Japan, then they're getting money. So that's a good thing. Get money to make real Godzilla movies. Kind of a ugly, dirty sponge color. Oops. Come on, I can do this, right? There we go. Matt said -1 I think is my favorite. Oh, yeah. It really is. I mean, I still dearly love the original Japanese. The love triangle in the original Japanese movie was awesome. The professor with the eye patch and stuff. I really love that film. Not the one with... reporting from the hotel with Raymond Burr reporting from the hotel room, but the Japanese cut is really hard to beat as far as because it's got the melodrama and stuff that they put into -1. Yeah, I think that's so good, and there were good performances because they got good actors. That's the thing. In Japan is people are really sensitive about she's pretty, he's talented, like they are not they don't fall for that. Companies just putting in the flavor of the month. Oh, hey, thank you. I was wondering what's in my voice. Mr. Wah, thank you. Thanks for the sub. I forgot my big W, my crazy big W voice. They got that back. Like they figured out that was a fun part, and they moved away from that really fast. Like I think Godzilla, even Godzilla raids again, the second one, already was kind of pushing it into like, who cares? This is just stupid sci-fi, stupid monster movie sci-fi, B movie, kind of stuff. So they didn't handle it so well. But yeah, Godzilla works well when he's got a little bit of symbolism or a little bit of weight behind what he's doing. Oh, let's put a gross kind of wet water in the sponge. Yeah, I think that works great. Make this a little. I have a green. Something gross looking. Here we go. Yeah, so I hope, and I think the Japanese director is already on board. And once people are like, ugh, with the Apple Monsterverse series, that the way they're trying to connect Kong Skull Island and all of these more recent Godzilla movies together, that's just lame. I hope that people realize that's a bad idea, and let's not do these cinematic universes anymore. Actually, yeah, I don't think let's see. Oh, yeah, darker is grosser, so maybe I'll do that. All right, and the bucket needs some shading as well. Yeah, I do like that Japan still likes to cast pretty people in movies. But I think they're not giving that up, because if you just look at flight attendants, just look at an Asian airline versus a Western airline, and what their flight attendant staff is. They're ever gonna want to look at. And I guess they have. That's the funny thing. Maybe that's why they reinforce, like kind of ancestor respect and, worship a little bit more in Asia, because they have no tolerance for aging. When people are old, they better have a long career. Like the actresses that are doing well in their older age in Japan are doing so because they had a good career when they were young and beautiful, and people still remember that. But they're very, in a funny way, ageist here with their entertainment. They don't look at old ugly people, and I think that was the thing they even said with the sequel trilogy. For Star Wars, like Disney didn't realize quickly enough that Chinese people don't want to look at old people, old worn out, especially white people, looking all dried out and leathery. It's like, why do we want to look at these old foreigners? And especially because they have no nostalgia tied to it. They didn't get Star Wars. So very limited reason to want to see those people. But it's funny. Yeah, so I hope they continue. And I'm just so happy that it had a good reception in the US as a subtitled foreign film. That is so rare. Because, and Japan almost never does that. They always feel like they have to... get famous people doing voices, and because all the Ghibli movies that Disney is doing, they get like an all-star cast. I mean, that's animation, so maybe a bit different because kids aren't going to read subtitles. But overall, I think America is not crazy about subtitled foreign media. but that movie did well. I don't think and it wasn't a complicated story too, so you didn't have to read every word. It was just a lot of kind of simple, but really hard, like really tough stuff. Like the deaths mattered in that movie a lot. So I like that. You know, that was very different from previous movies in previous eras. There we go. So the bucket has to frown, though. I think he's anticipating something disgusting. All right. Where are we? Okay, so I'm working backwards. All right, 8 buckets. Now something on ice. Yeah, thanks so much for the sub. Yeah, it's good stuff. And Japan, I mean, I really wish they could have taken better advantage of the pandemic to kind of, you know, build up their movie industry, because it's really really fallen off. And especially the stuff that gets put out. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what, I think it's just bad decision making. Maybe some kind of orange soda. Yeah, let's hide this. But the, yeah, they need to catch up to what Korea has been able to do as far as making people aware of the good stuff going on. There we go. Let's do some kind of, I like the old glass bottles with the painting on them. All right. And maybe make it a some kind of orange soda. Did anybody have a grandfather that took them to the VFW? Oh, that was actually the VFW was the first place I ever played first place I ever played Pac-Man. I think I played Space Invaders like at Pizza Hut or something. But the first place I ever played Pac-Man was at a VFW. My grandfather was actually excited about video games, and he couldn't wait for us to try it. So funny. Yeah, but I remember drinking Bubble Up at a VFW. It was the only place I ever saw Bubble Up. I guess like whatever other beverage companies 7-Up rival. I guess, yeah, it's pretty obvious they were just trying to knock off the it was something up. I know it was something up, so maybe Bubble. Brand confusion. But playing some Pac-Man. Yeah, that is so funny. The days when there would be a machine, you know, like at a gas station or a convenience store or a pizza place or whatever, a single machine. And then it was a really cool place if it had like 3 machines. Like I remember one of the pizza places we went to had the game corner and it was like 3 machines. One of them was always Dig Dug, so I liked that. But yeah. Wow, 3 video games. But that was like kind of back in the day where it didn't even matter what the hell the game was. You know, you just wanted to play it. Especially if it was something you'd never seen before. That was like a little bit exciting. Here's some That's too much going on, isn't it? Oh, no, I think it works okay. Kind of gives depth to the ice in the glass. Yeah, you didn't care what movie was on. It's so funny how precious everyone's like opinion, and I guess I was just talking about that, about time, like, not feeling like I've got time to do stuff, but how everyone was used to not care. It's like, no, I just want to play a video game. I just want to see a movie. And now it's everyone is so precious and so strange about their I guess because now it's become, oh, you see those kinds of movies, so you're that kind of person. There's a lot of now much people associate politics and things much more in your entertainment choices, I guess. I don't know. But that was lower tech, I think life made that more fun. Let's go see what's on. Oh, I just watched a video about Japanese language only. Only restaurants in Japan. Yeah. Oh, most restaurants. They're not going to speak any English to you. They're not going to. Well, let's see if I read that right. Japanese language only. Yes, restaurants in Japan. Anything with a handwritten. If they hand you a piece of paper that was written with a brush pen, they're not going to understand English. They're not going to speak English to you. They actually aren't really interested in having foreigner or tourists as customers. And that's much more common in the countryside, kind of smaller areas. I mean, they'll be, depending on the place, they'll be friendly. They may be friendly to you, but they're not going to. It's kind of like France before the Channel. They didn't want to hear English. They didn't want to deal with non-French speakers. And so parts of Japan are still like that, where if you don't know kanji, you can't order. And also, even if you know some kanji, handwritten, like they just kind of scrawl, sometimes even just with like a ballpoint pen, they'll just scrawl on these menus because it's kind of the style, to make it look kind of casual and whatever. And even if you knew the letters, they're almost unreadable. So yeah, it's a little rough. Yeah, so like that's the funny thing. Like doctors' handwriting, like doctors notoriously have bad handwriting, even in Japan, and so on prescription pads and stuff. Yeah, they've moved, I think, to printing out like stuff from computers, but sloppy Asian handwriting is brutal. Yeah, so most of the places around me, if you go in with zero language ability, you're just going to have to point at something on a menu and pray. And then if they ask you anything about how you want to prepare it or what kind of sauce you want or whatever, yeah, you're going to have a little bit more difficulty. But that's only, I think, if you're dealing with like people 60 and over are very hostile to English. Younger people and younger stuff. Like if it's in Kyoto, there's a lot of hip, cool, places, and they're younger people, so they'll help you through it. But they may not do English language menus and things because they don't have to. Most of their business is going to be local regulars. But yeah, it can be pretty scary. And that's what all of Japan used to be like. It was very tourist unfriendly. Like Japan in the 80s, if you had zero language skill, it was just like, going to, the countryside in China now. There was very little chance that you were going to be able to. But that was kind of the fun. Like that's what international travel, you just knew a few words or you had a little dictionary or whatever and just kind of winged it. Like that was kind of the fun of international travel in the past. But it definitely was not, let's make this banana a little bigger. Not easy, but you can navigate almost any situation with a few words of Japanese and broken English and their few words of broken English and Japanese. A lot of situations, especially if you're trying to spend money someplace. More recently, they've gotten friendlier about it. But yeah, definitely the kind of default thing is just like, and you ask them, you say something to them, and they'll just say no English, no English. But that was the standard kind of stance in Japan for a while. This is all new because Japan used to be such an expensive place to visit. What happened here? Such an expensive place to visit because everything was so the yen, even if the yen wasn't weak, super weak, the prices were crazy high. But now the prices have been kind of fixed in Japan, and people have figured that out. Literally, there haven't been price increases on food or anything for 30 years. Like, they've kept it as like they have to. I remember the one candy company apologizing because they had to raise the price of the individual bag of something like 10 cents or 10 equivalent 10 yen, equivalent of 10 cents, 10 pence, and they apologized. We're so sorry, but we have to. And that was like the only thing that they had done in since the 90s. So yeah, it's a very funny thing. But now that the world has figured that out, that Japan has held its prices down to benefit Japanese, now they're taking advantage because a weak yen plus deflation and a price kind of not fixing in that way, the illegal way, but the holding prices down so that companies don't have to raise wages. That's the problem. Is there's no prices haven't gone up, but also salaries haven't gone up. So people have made the same money. Like if I do private lessons, like if I do like a cafe lesson or a business English lesson, the cost of that or the price of it per hour has been the same for almost 20 years. Like, you can't ask more. It's just a fixed price. Oops. Because and actually, instead of raises, people in Japan are asked to take salary decreases. They'll basically say, yeah, we're not, we'll give you some more maybe schedule flexibility or some more vacation or something, but we're going to reduce your wage, your yearly salary. So that happens more than salary increases here. Isn't that insane? And people, have just endured it because it's worth it. It's like worth being able to live here is worth it. But, I don't know. So it really is kind of frustrating that people have, foreigners have figured that out, that they can really take advantage of the situation now with being more friendly to English speakers and everything so dirt cheap. Because I might have said this before, but some of the import things, like if I want to get a can of like Campbell's soup or something at an import shop, it used to be that it was double or triple the price that it was on a shelf in a grocery store in America. Now, if I want to get a can of soup, of American vegetable soup or whatever, it's probably the same price, if not cheaper, than it is on the shelves in America. I don't know how that works, but yeah. So comparing prices. When my daughter was here comparing prices, she's like, "Yeah, that's what we pay, or we may actually pay a little bit more." That was amazing. So yeah, it's not going to last, but it's weird. It's going to be weird while it does. But there are still places. Yeah, you do have to be careful. You can walk into a place that's actually hostile to foreigners. Not everyone is embracing this new tourist boom, because it changes the atmosphere of things. Like, I saw a little segment on like one of these evening panel shows showing some British guy, I think, that had started to buy up a bunch of either buy up properties or create like a real estate system. He became like a realtor basically in Japan for foreigners to sell them the old abandoned houses in Japan to remodel. And I was just showing around some kid, some like 20-something kid, showing him an old, obviously traditional Japanese house that was built in the 60s. And it's like, this kid is going to destroy this house. He probably doesn't have the skill to do any of the woodwork or repair any of the woodwork or do any of the replacement of any of the interior stuff. And most of the stuff isn't even made anymore. So he's just going to gut it and, paint it stark white, and it's just going to look like some IKEA showroom. So that was kind of depressing, but they're trying to figure out what to do about that stuff, because that's a bit of a problem here, because if families only had one kid apiece, there's like a kid now has like 3 or 4 from his grandparents and great uncles and stuff, has like 3 or 4 houses in the middle of nowhere, which is, nothing is in the middle of nowhere here, but kind of out in a very inconvenient place, not a great vacation spot that just has to sit. And so that just sits empty for decades. And so now they're trying to figure out what to do with some of that real estate. Yeah, but it's interesting. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, there's some, I see. Yeah, English being spoken. Yes. I know that can definitely happen. And especially, I would think with the high-end stuff, because there are still restaurants. There's still bars and restaurants here you can't walk into. You have to be recommended by somebody, like a customer, a regular customer already can introduce you to the restaurant, but you cannot just walk in off the street. And so those kinds of businesses would definitely have a no English policy. I could see that happening because it changes the atmosphere of a place when someone's like drunk and yelling and singing in English and whatever. It does change the atmosphere of a lot of traditional Japanese places or expensive Japanese places, and also will scare off their regular customers. And I think the basic, how Japan thinks about everything, or how Japanese think about everything, is this too shall pass. Endure is the position that most Japanese people take, because it's kind of what you have to be able to do with all the natural disaster that happens in Japan, is you just have to endure. So they don't see anything as particularly nothing feels very permanent. So they're seeing this as just a temporary condition, and they don't want to chase away their regular customers. Regular local customers. So they're not going to let the atmosphere be ruined by tourists speaking, and not even English, but there's a lot of, foreign tourists from Europe and Eastern Europe and Russia and stuff, that their language and the way they talk is very disruptive. And Chinese too. Chinese sounds terrible compared to in context of Japan. People speaking kind of natural volume, natural speed Chinese, that sounds very bad to the Japanese ear. So yeah, I could see that. I could see that being a thing. But I've not ever been told that I can't speak English in a place. But usually, I try to speak Japanese everywhere. It's interesting that kind of thing coming up, because what a lot of foreigners, if they are all excited, studied Japanese in university and are all excited about visiting Japan so they can try their Japanese, they're going to find very few, unless they're going to make some local friends, they're going to find very few opportunities to actually be able to speak Japanese because depending on your skin color, you're going to be, because people's English levels have gotten much better. Actually, let me put this over here. Their English level and education has gotten much better, and they learn it much earlier. They can speak English very competently and want to try. So if they see some white person approach them, they're not going to switch to Japanese for you. So that's a little bit, I think, frustrating for people that want to come to Japan to study Japanese. You can do that with your friends. You can't do that with a lot of businesses and just like strangers you would, interact with in the public. But yeah, at the same time, I can see the protecting locals and actually being a little bit arrogant about, kind of protecting Japan. But it hasn't happened to me yet. But Osaka is a kind of a raucous, kind of goofy place, and that's mostly where we go out to eat. So they don't care. They'll have a lot of restaurants that have a sitting fee. So just to come into the restaurant and sit down, you got to pay them like $10-20, like a door fee kind of thing. They'll do that to kind of discourage tourists, because if they know you're like a broke tourist, it's going to come in and buy like the cheapest thing possible and wait and keep their table space, like hog up a table that could go to somebody that's going to spend hundreds of dollars on alcohol. They'll kick you out, or like trying to not kick you out, but they'll discourage you by having a fee and also a time limit. So, okay, to come into this restaurant, it's, $12 sitting fee and maximum 90 minutes. And then you got to get out of here. So I've seen that. That's happened. Some people not believing, like my wife is Japanese, have done that. To us a few times. It's like, yeah, okay, we know, no big deal. And it's not usually a huge fee, and they don't enforce. If you're got a decent sized bill, they're not going to enforce the 90 minutes if they know that you're spending a lot of money. They're just trying to discourage the frugal backpackers, that come in and want to try to, survive in Japan for $10 a day or whatever. They have no interest in supporting that kind of nonsense. Yeah, but yeah, it's a funny thing, and it is amazing how hard it is to get some Japanese people to speak Japanese to you. And it's almost, when they're looking at your like a white face or a brown face or whatever, they almost can't believe you're speaking Japanese to them. It's like, no, this is not possible. This doesn't happen. I must speak English to this person. It's very funny how some people are. All right. Yeah, I've gotten that more recently at coffee places. I'll start ordering in Japanese, and the staff is just like refusing to speak Japanese to me. I'm like, okay. But they're usually such short interactions, I don't understand. And I wonder, I should ask more people. Yeah, actually, maybe I'll start doing that. That might be some interesting data. Just start asking the Japanese staff, why are you speaking English to me? Is my Japanese hard to understand? Do you think it makes me more comfortable here? Like, do you think that, or were you told to do that because it will make the foreign customers more comfortable? That might be an interesting thing. Or is it that because we're going to have a misunderstanding if we only speak English? There's definitely going to be English, and especially if I speak natural speed English, they can't understand. So I wonder if it's because like places like maybe like Starbucks might be corporate policy. You never know, but I'd be curious, like what the reason is why they're why some places or some people are just like so stubborn about it. It's interesting. And I've had some waiters and people go, well, your Japanese is not very good. How long have you lived here? And then they say, my God, why don't you study Japanese more? Like, shut up. Yeah, I've had that lovely, and I don't ever turn around and say to them, yeah, I'm sure your English is amazing, jackass. You're supposed to learn that in school. That's officially your second language. Yeah, it's really funny. Oh, that's color. That's not reflection. Let me do the ice cubes kind of a light blue so I can put some effects on there. Oh, good night, Matt. Thanks for hanging in so long. It was fun. Fun to talk. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, how's it going? I studied Spanish in high school, so I could understand. When I lived in Los Angeles, I could understand. I can't understand normal speed, like natural speed, but I could read signs and very simple Spanish stuff. I could still function pretty well. My wife's Spanish is really good, but so only have high school American high school Spanish level. But no, I didn't know a word of Japanese when I moved here. So, and then I just never wanted to take classes because I was like, I'm gonna really spill the beans here. I was in my mid-30s when I moved to Japan, so I was old as hell. I was like out of the. I want to go to university and take a class, and so if you don't have a huge reason, like if I didn't have to do like total immersion, because the mistake I made is when I moved to Japan, I was still working. This is like early days of remote. I was still working for American companies. And so I was living like a vampire. I was up on the phone or on video conferences at 3 a.m. To match whatever the company I was working for, whatever their schedule was, and they were tolerating it, and it worked well for a while, but without that face-to-face things. And I think it was because like I said, it was early days of remote work, and so there's a lot of hostility from the people that had to come into work. They were being any chance they had to make me look bad or whatever they would take, because they were frustrated with the fact that they couldn't work from home and had to, and it's Los Angeles. Most of it was Los Angeles work. So they had to deal with the nightmare traffic and the commute, and I didn't. And all I had to do was not sleep. But then I wasn't really, so it kind of came down to, I wasn't really living here. I could barely interact, socially, barely do anything. I missed family events and stuff just because I couldn't miss the sleep or had to do work. I had to, get stuff done for, really weird deadlines at weird times. So it just became silly to be here and try to maintain that kind of thing. So I kind of gave in to that. So, but I never worked in an office. I've never worked in a Japanese office. I've always worked freelance. And once I got out of the office, I never wanted to go back. I mean, that just seems insane anymore. So I haven't ever worked in a Japanese office or had a desk job or anything. So I've never needed to learn it. And there's not the salaries here, like I was talking about earlier, the salaries here are so bad that it's not even worth my time. Like the, 3 or 6 months it would take to intensively improve my Japanese, it's not even worth that, because there's no benefit. It'd be more cost effective to learn Python than it would to learn Japanese, which is the sad truth of it. And a lot of the companies that I'd want to work for, a lot of them are international anyhow, so they're very multilingual. So yeah, it's just the and I think that's the thing that people studying Japanese don't understand is, you're basically studying it for your appreciation of anime and manga. It does not have a huge financial return. There were people that were saying, I can't wait. After I leave Japan, I'll go back to America, and because I can speak Japanese, I can work for Toyota. It's like Toyota does business in English and probably Spanish, not Japanese. in North America, your Japanese language skills are useless unless you want to be a rapid interpreter, like a rapid translator. or not translator, interpreter. That's the only skill, like for sporting events and stuff. That's the only, and there's already people that have, lifetime positions in those kind of jobs. So it's not financially, it's not a great move. It's not worth your time. It's not going to return anything. All it's going to be able to do is let you enter the world of bullying and office politics in a Japanese company, which is a wonderful reward. Yeah, and you don't even really participate. No matter how good your manners are, you don't even participate in a lot of the office culture anyhow. It's very silly. But yeah, people get really arrogant about their language stuff here. I'm just like, yeah, you can speak to homeless guys casually. That's the biggest skill you have. You don't, you can't speak comfortably to anybody in the business world. You're not going to be running your own company. You're not going to be negotiating anything. Like you could open a bar and, like you do small talk with bar flies if that's what you really want to do. But that's like the biggest, skill. And it's going to take you a long time to, if you didn't start in grade school, like in, I know in Australia, you can start pretty early with Japanese language stuff. If you haven't started very early, you're way too behind. You're basically illiterate to Japanese people, so you're not gonna be able to function very well at all, or run your own. The crazy amount of paperwork. You have to outsource all of that, and that would all be money out of your pocket. Yeah, it's crazy. It was a very hard thing for me to kind of figure out, and I just got really frustrated with the realities of it. So when I had the gallery, it was much more efficient for me to just hire Japanese staff that were bilingual and have them deal. Oh, I did that on the thing, and have them deal with the the Japanese customers, because they would instantly be more comfortable, and anybody that came in the shop because it was owned by a foreigner wanted to speak English with me anyhow. So yeah, it's a weird thing. And also you don't want to have some of the conversations that you have to have in Japanese. Japanese are not known for their small talk. It's pretty mind-numbing. Should I put some white on this mug? Make it kind of like one of those internally, like, let's see how that looks. Sure, that looks more interesting, maybe. Yeah, just listening to people's everyday small talk is so mind-numbing. It's so funny because it's strong opinion is not. You don't want to have strong opinion. That makes people uncomfortable here. So that means nobody expresses strong opinions, but they still keep talking to each other. So all you're doing is like doing this weird like consensus making thing. That's nice. That's delicious. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, very funny. Yeah, that was the biggest maybe surprise and challenge, I think, for the Japanese students here that I've had to deal with if they want to go to university abroad. They have to learn kind of debate and argument and, kind of a lot of skills that they didn't think they would ever need because they're just not. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do a little more of this. They're not. It's not done in Japan. You don't, challenge your professors' opinions on things. You don't debate with other students here. So very different style. And so when they found out they had to do that, if they went to school abroad, that was very disturbing. for them, and kind of hard, kind of a big culture and kind of big adjustment culture-wise. Oh, I can not agree with you, and we can be okay with this. I'm not disrespecting you, by not agreeing with your opinion. Yeah, it's a very interesting difference. All right. Yeah, that's a funny thing that you'll get a lot too, like eating out with Japanese people. If people are deciding what's going on here? Oh, that's right. I masked it all out. Deciding what to eat. As soon as the first person that the waiter kind of asks, the first person kind of brave enough to say what they want. If it's a large group, you'll just get a cascade of me too, me too, me too, me too, or isho, 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 like this, the same. I'll have the same. Because people they're trying to compliment your decision. Oh yes, you made a very good choice. I will have that too, because that was such a good choice. And also just want it to be as simple as possible. Don't want the food will probably come out at the same time. Like, it just reduces so many slightly uncomfortable things that could happen if you ordered different things on the menu. So it's pretty funny. But that comes from the and if this goes away, if this dies here, it'll be a very sad thing. But it just comes from you think of the group before yourself. Not in some weird communist way where you're worshiping the state, but you just consider other people's feelings above yours. It's not important that you're happy or you have exactly what you want. It's more important that the whole group feels good and has some harmony and unity and stuff. So very different aesthetic. So it makes those kind of those odd little social things. Hey Gail, how's it going? Am I saying that right? Am I seeing that right? Sorry, the screen is so small. Oh, yeah, little Audrey and little Lulu. Yes, of course. Yes. Nice. Loan Max and Title Max. That sounds like real estate. Or that sounds like, selling like Amblin Entertainment and DreamWorks were both founded by... yes, I do. You're good with the facts. You got the facts going on. Cool. Oh, yeah. Thanks, dude. Yeah. Dude, nothing worse than one person sitting waiting while everyone else is almost finished with dinner. Yes. Isn't that funny, though? That, you go so far. It's like, I don't really like shrimp, but everybody ordered shrimp, so I'm going to eat shrimp tonight. Yeah, it's funny. Nice. Okay, I think that works. Maybe a little shinier on the bag there. Yeah. Let's try to get across the idea. It's foil. Sure. Sorry. Why not? How are we doing here? Boom. I can't wait to have a snack from a convenience store. As soon as I think that's the next thing I'm going to do. We'll do comments later. As soon as I get these colored, I need to eat something. I'm dying. Yeah, how long has it been? Oh, yeah, it's been 2.5 hours. That makes sense. All right. Let's see here. Got to get that Twinkie color. I haven't even seen a Twinkie in years, maybe. Yeah, and then the outside is the same color, but the part where it's hitting the pan is a little darker. Yeah, there we go, like that. That weird bottom that Twinkies have. Oh, wait. I gotta mask this or else I'm gonna screw it up. Yeah, where they were making contact with the cooking surface. We'll do that. I think the inside is actually a little bit lighter, isn't it? Like slightly lighter. And maybe it'll go a little bit more into the yellow. Not that far. Let's try that. Yeah, I think a little bit on the, I can't remember exactly. The outside being very, very yellow. Maybe that yellow's not enough. And then, yeah, the creamy part is just white. But I think this needs to be a little bit brighter yellow in that like fakey artificial way. Little bit less yellow. Just a little desaturation maybe. Wait a minute here. Damn. I think that's wrong. I guess I'll just go brighter yellow. It looks wrong, but it's like people know what it's supposed to be. All right, and then we'll do chocolate. Oops, there we go. Chocolate cupcake. So this will be the same color. Whoops. That's the same color, but I'm going to do the top darker because there won't be eyes up there. So yeah, we'll do that. Dark chocolate top part where the frosting. Yeah, there we go. I should be able to draw over that. There we go. Cool. And then just the white little swirl. Okay. We did it. You know, the eyes are going to be hard to see on the cupcake, I think, but we'll see how it goes. I can change my color if that happens. A bite out of a Twinkie. Yeah, make it kind of look like a rough. Oh, I didn't even color that. And spongy cake looking. And then this whole thing can be dark. And then this. There we go. It's so funny how you do anything long enough and you may not be good at it, but you're like competent, which means you can reproduce reliably the same kind of results. And for a lot of stuff, that's all you need to be able to do. You know, it's not important to be particularly gifted. I don't think I'm a great illustrator, but I've gotten a lot of work, you know, a lot of illustration work just because it's good enough. And also, you know, if you can meet a deadline and, you know, so work reasonably fast, then yeah, that's the thing I think is the first kind of difficult realization, like doing creative stuff, is the pace that you have to do it, like the professional pace, like how fast you actually have to be able to finish stuff is much different than than the idea you get in, you know, art school or whatever. They don't really talk about that, about how much you're going to have to and how fast you're going to have to produce. And this might be a much newer thing. I think things might have changed a lot, and a lot more was tolerated previously, but now, because of digital tools and things, yeah, you can not get work just because you're not fast enough, which is interesting. I don't think that may not have been a thing in the past. All right, and maybe a little shine on the edge of the Twinkie. Nice. Oh, yeah, we got drop shadows and everything. But yeah, as long as you can get a pleasing result and you can do it fast and get the same result every time, that's professional. You know, that's enough of a professional level. But also, you know, with everything, standards change, and skill requirements change, different skill levels that are required to do things. Yeah, change a lot, which sucks because basically you can be halfway through your career and then have to retrain, have to relearn something or learn new tools because that what you do is not the standard anymore. There we go. We'll go with that. Oh, Little Audrey and Little Lulu are owned by NBC Universal through. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I wonder why we haven't seen revivals of some of those characters. Seems like this might be a fun time to do that with nostalgia and stuff going on. Yeah, I wouldn't. And they could also have some international appeal too, because the design of them, like there's a lot of characters like that in Japan, that kind of era, that made it into animation, made it into TV animation in Japan, and then just keep being popular forever. And I think both Lulu and Audrey are like that as well. Yeah, I remember the 60s and 70s TV animation they had. Or was that? Or were this theatrical? This might have been theatrical. If they were, if they're in the '60s, they're probably still theatrical cartoons because I think only Hanna-Barbera was doing much TV animation then. Early days. Okay, we got cupcakes and we got one more, right? Yes. Wow. 9. We did 9 cartoons already. Yikes. All right, it's just a little bit off gray. Yeah, that works. Maybe with the cup too, because then I can make the top very bright. And I'm drawing a plastic straw. It's an anti-turtle cartoon. All right. Yeah, the only place you're going to be able to see plastic straws or straws this color. So I can't even imagine what you would have to do to get that kind of color in paper without poisoning people. Oh, and then this. Wait. Did that have an opening? Oh, wait. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that was bugging me. Okay, and then we'll do some graphics on everything. Yeah, we'll just use the same red as the straw. I'm forgetting my the pattern I used to always draw in my fast food cartoons. I think it was like this. Yeah. I'll do this in the bag. Yeah, I think always fast food places always have to be the first to change with the times, get rid of styrofoam packaging and things. They always have to, because I guess just because of the scale, that's the reason they have to react first is because it's multiples of millions that they are producing of everything, so they're going to make the most trash, and so their change will have the biggest effect. It's crazy. It's also why they think they can bully farmers into selling them all their potatoes. Yeah, it really sucks. There we go. And then just a line here. And then this side we'll do. Oops. Down here as well. There we go. And I got to do my famous green or grease spots on the bag. Yeah, there's got to be that. That's the thing, Gail, with the Gail, with the those old kind of classic characters. There's got to be streaming services that are picking up on them and taking advantage of maybe the cost of the rights costs and stuff are low because they're not active IPs. There might be some really cool streaming opportunities out there for a lot of those kind of characters. It was Little Lulu the same studio as Casper? At least for the animation. Was that little... Which one was that? One of those little characters. I forget who was the same studio that did Casper the Friendly Ghost. All right. Yeah, because I know the comic Nancy had has had like an interesting revival, and some like very, kind of arty illustrators have picked up doing work with the Nancy character. She was a comic strip though, I think. I don't think she ever had it. There was never an animation because it was always such an odd, the kind of graphic, the graphic style and everything was always interesting and kind of unique for that character. Let's do some, light these up a little bit. There we go. Wow, this is it. But now I've got to write. That's going to be the worst. That's going to be the an hour of pain. Trying to write 9 jokes in one day for domestic abuse. Oof. All right. All right, there we go. Let me gotta go back and check I didn't forget any eyes on anything. All right. The wrapper's looking the straw wrapper's looking all crazy. Okay, let's do the grease on the bag. That's my favorite part of fast food. If you take it home, you never get it home before it starts to... Oops. Where are we going here? Where's the color layer? Here. There we go. Okay, everything's so white. It's hard to... the spotty grease spots. Oh, this would actually have to come around this way. There we go. And then just kind of, or actually let's do this and then fade them out. Yeah, I love that, the faint, and almost like the paper almost becomes translucent. Once it's so greasy. All right. Maybe this is a dessert joke. I don't know. It feels like something like that. Okay. Wow. We did it. Let me double check everything's got color and eyes. Oh, that's right. I'm not using this camera. I'm using that camera. The little webcam has a really wide lens. Jeez. It's like a really wide angle lens. Let me go through. These guys are good. Wow. We got through it. There we go. All right. Yeah, this is what I used to do quite a bit, is do everything at once. Like I would, when it was on paper, I would just sit and do like a dozen or so just drawings, and then had always a backlog of like 20 or 30 marker drawings that weren't colored and didn't have any jokes. Sometimes I'd scratch down like in pencil a joke or something that I thought of while I was drawing, or that I kind of drew for if I had an idea first. But yeah, this is this reminds me of kind of the more old style for the cartoon, and so I would have these, and then I would just pick them out a couple at a time and scan them and color them when I needed to upload stuff. But yeah, this is fun. It's fun to and to not be so precious. I think when I was only doing 2 a week, I was so worried about, oh, what's the best? I want to make this interesting, and you could see in the early digital stuff, I did a lot of very complicated and very interesting, kind of challenging images, like clear plastics and shiny glass and stuff, just to play around with that. All right, so let's go, because I'm getting a little hungry. Let's go to the snacks. All right. So, yes, I thought this was very funny. I think this is a kind of a misunderstanding, and it's got its little built-in little hook here. So this is from, I don't think this is somebody that we've had their stuff before. No, it is. Koikeya did some little, I think, chocolate pies and stuff before. I think they might do a bigger, oh, and sorry, this is green. Where it's keying out, it's green, because of course it's Italian, flag colors. So it's green, red, and white box. But this is Koike lunch pie. So I think they have a series maybe of lunch pies, but this is delicious pizza. So in Japan, when they say pie, this, oh, I've got a shadow here. This is what they're talking about. It's kind of a maybe French style pastry, very many layers, like the Montfilet, kind of like many layers of thin crust, very flaky. And so they call that pie. So if you get apple pie in Japan, it's going to be this like flaky pastry, kind of a Danish with some, apple filling. So I think somebody heard pizza pie as an expression, and they said, oh, we could make a pizza pie, couldn't we? So usually inside here is chocolate or fruit, but for some reason they decided to get crazy and do pizza. And that's why they're calling it a lunch pie, perhaps. So the pizza pie, lunch pie, and open, open, what does it say? Yeah, so just oh, and butter. Yeah, of course, the buttery pie crust. So open here, is there? Oh yeah, there is. So they're indicating the little opening here. Yeah, so kind of like a oh no way. Individually, I didn't see that. Did it say? Oh, it does. It says 2. Yeah, it says 2 packages of 3 keying out at the bottom here. So we've got 2. They always do this, like bags within bags, boxes within boxes. So here, we don't have to let these all get stale. So 2 packages of 3 pies. Lunch pie. Look at that, a little pie you can hold in your fingers. So I think this is, somebody may have heard the English expression pizza pie, and they're like, can we make a pizza flavored French pastry? I guess you could. So yeah, maybe the most famous version of this, I don't think Koikeya makes this, is home pie. So home pie is like a cookie, but it's made the same sort of way. It's many, many layers of thin dough that are very flaky and buttery and crunchy. So yeah, this just looks like a little slice. It looks like a piece of crust, like a little breadstick, like a bite of a breadstick. Oh, whoa, but it's very oregano, yeah, very pizza smelling already. It's a typical crust, and there's just like a little bit of tomato sauce and cheese inside. Very small amount, though. It's super the wrong consistency for pizza. Like, pizza is not buttery. Like, the pizza dough is not buttery. It's, olive oil or whatever. So butter is the wrong flavor. So I'm see if I'm going to make a mess. Try about one of these in half. There you can see. Oh, sorry, I don't have my autofocus on, so the focus won't change. So it's just like a little tomato cheesy stuff kind of mixed together in the middle. It's not right. It's not the right combination taste. I think it's the wrong pie with the pizza pie. If they would have done like a more pizza crust or dough it would have matched better. Yeah, it's really buttery. It's like a croissant. It's like a pizza croissant, which is an odd combination. It's like a French, if the French made pizza. Yeah, but you can see the really flaky layers. So it's very, very thin layers. And so, yeah, rises and it's like kind of glazed on the top. But it's okay. It's like, it's not the right flavor combination. It's kind of weird. And the middle is very, there's very little filling. And because it's just tomato sauce and or like a little tomato flavored cheese, it's not a strong flavor. So if it was chocolate or, you know, like raspberry or strawberry or something, it'd be a very strong flavor in the middle. It's okay. And I guess it's like, but that is not enough. That is not a lunch. I don't know why they separate into 2 packs. It's not enough for a lunch. A whole box maybe is enough for lunch, but it's just a little taste. It's not very filling. You know, it's just like eating 3 cookies for lunch. Yeah. It's an odd, I can see what they were going for, but it's kind of a lost in translation. But this is one of those things that Japanese tastes or Japanese palates maybe wouldn't even sort out very well. Like the weird contrast of oregano, tomato sauce, cheese taste with buttery French pastry. It's almost like, yeah, dessert plus pizza. Because you're thinking dessert and you're waiting for chocolate or fruit or something, and all you're getting is tomato sauce and cheese. Yeah, that's not gross, but just weird. Whoops. Yeah, not very filling. It's funny. I can't remember the price, but it's only usually like maximum $2. Yeah, they don't say any of the varieties. Oh yeah, but they did spoil it. Yeah, that there was a tube, like a little bag with 3 in a pack on the back there. Oh, so yeah, 3.4% butter. I guess they're warning you. It's very buttery. But butter is not a pizza flavor. It's so weird. Yeah, it's just a really strange combination. I kind of suspected that when I saw pizza pie. I kind of suspected that it was just like an odd occurrence. It's like, there's a thing called pizza pie, right? So let's make a French pastry pie with pizza. Because you know that that style of flakiness works better for like a pot pie, you know, like a chicken pot pie or a beef pot pie. That usually has like a flaky, buttery pie topping. So if they wanted to do savory, chicken or beef would probably be better than pizza. Pizza's an odd combination. Interesting. Yeah, so it's interesting, but not what quite right. So I think they were, I think the pizza pie thing tricked them. But if you find one of these around, let me know if you agree. But the lunch pie should probably not do a pizza flavor. It's not quite a match. I don't think Italian and French hybrid cuisine is ever going to take off. But look at that cute little pizza at the bottom there. Yeah, it doesn't do either of them particularly well, but very buttery. Yeah, 3.4%. Oof. All right, so that was the Koikeya's lunch pie, delicious pizza flavor. So give it a shot because you can share it. There's 2 packages of 3 in there. All right, back to it. Due in June. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. And I think also because the custom is if you have somebody for a meeting or something, you give them a drink and a little offering, like cookie or something. So if you're giving them something like iced tea or something that doesn't really match with chocolate or cookies with something sweet, then maybe something like this would be a funny option. You know, if you're giving them like just sparkling water or something, something that wouldn't be a kind of coffee or tea cookie might work better. Nice. Very shareable. Yeah, just a very little thing. And so if it was maybe stronger, like a sun-dried tomato taste or something in there, might be better than a cheesy, like a fake pizza taste. But yeah, interesting. All right, now the hard part begins. So we'll just start with this end and see how we can do. Let me double check there's no emergencies, because even in the day that I blocked off for June, you never know. All right. Okay, yep, looks like everything is good. Nice. Very good. So, fast food. Okay, so there was no dessert. No dessert in the bag. Or something about, yeah, so the cup's covered with condensation. Everything. Nothing left in the nothing left in the bag. Yeah, I should be making fun of the price of fast food now. I can't believe the American inflation and the price of really low quality fast food is insane now. So I was thinking about nothing left in the bag. So the bag being empty. Or maybe nothing left but a few greasy napkins. There was nothing. Oh, maybe I can just start here. But a few greasy napkins. Or only a few greasy napkins. Only a few greasy napkins was all he had left. Inside, I think I need to kind of, you know, we're talking about the bag. Or left to give. I think I should move everything up. It looks like with the way I position that straw wrapper, it's kind of a little low. There we go. Yeah, because the my little squiggle is almost touching the text. Yeah, I don't, because I don't have all the wrappers, like the fry box and the wrappers. Well, let's keep going. I don't want to get bogged down on one, and we'll go back through and see if there's any tweaking that can be done. And I hope I don't leave the joke. See, this is the dangerous part of doing them so many, is I could make the mistake and leave the previous previous joke on there. All right. Snack cakes were surprised. Yeah, just snacking, like light snacking. Or like the initial assault. The initial assault. We're surprised they both survived. So maybe the snack cakes. They both survived. We'll cut it here. Yeah, perfect. The initial assault. One bite of everything. It's war, I tell ya. Snacking and war have so much in common. Whole beans. Like someone else's job. The idea for this was it was somebody else's, responsibility, or they had these guys don't have that information. Like a coffee mug doesn't know how coffee is brewed, and coffee beans don't know how they become coffee. Or neither of them had. Oh yeah, so yeah, maybe had complete concept, idea, picture. Maybe doesn't sound right. Neither of them had the complete picture of how coffee was made. The complete, what is that? The complete information? Oh, thanks. Thanks, Unknown Girl. Yeah, I always like fall in love with a phrase that I have to make a joke around, like when looking at something and then you think of some funny phrase that is inappropriate, to the to what's going on, or how to get from one place to another. The process, understood the complete process, but that's almost no. It's like they're thinking about it. Neither of them could even imagine. Yes, so they're just tools. I think that's closer to something funny, because we are these incomplete steps between things. Oftentimes your job is just one step in a process, especially like a factory job. You just do one part of a whole thing. So you would have no idea how to build a car, but you know how to attach the windshield wipers, or you know how to seal a windshield or whatever. Yeah, and the kind of hyperbole of imagine. They were trying to imagine how coffee was made. All right. Hopefully they understand that's supposed to be a bag of whole beans. Oh, wait, maybe. Let me cheat it. Let me cheat it with a little drawing of coffee beans here. So I save myself the... Is it kidneys? Let's go like this. There we go. There we go. Now we know there's supposed to be coffee beans in there, right? All right. Yeah, those don't look like little lip marks or hamburgers. It's coffee beans, I promise. All right. So neither of them could even imagine how coffee was made. All right. Okay. The scoop has to be frowning, doesn't it? Because it's so stupid that it's a giant scoop. A big scoop. Oops. How about if I choose the right color? That would be even better. Let's see. So this was the first time he felt useless, being a big scoop. Or imprecise. Yeah, I think imprecision is kind of funnier. Large scoops lacked the precision. Some finer beverage tasks. For some of the, yeah. For some. Large scoops lacked the precision for some of the finer beverage tasks, like just putting ice in a glass. Is that too, it sounds a little silly and technical. I like precision, but maybe the, they already, it's hard to believe they already needed more ice. Nice, thank you, unknown girl. Sad scoops. Let's see here. Get the mic away. Large scoops. So the imprecision of a large scoop meant they already needed more ice. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go, there we go. The imprecision of the large scoop meant they already needed more ice. So it's getting everywhere. Ooh, maybe scoop. There we go. Double stop. The imprecision, it's not im, right? It's in precision. I'm not going to misspell it. No, it's imprecision. Yeah. I'm so glad I didn't, I guess the spell check probably would have caught that. Imprecision. I'm having trouble telling my M's from my N's anymore in, there's no such thing in Japanese. Yes, imprecision. Imprecise. Wow, that would have been a horrible mistake. The imprecision of the large scoop meant they already needed more ice. All right, there we go. Okay. Imprecise. It's imperfect too, right? I am perfect. I am perfect. Perfect or imperfect? It's imperfect as well. Yeah, wow, that sounds wrong. That's so funny. Oof. I'm losing my native language. The imprecision of the large scoop meant they already needed more ice. All right. There's a weird, let me just erase that here. Weird bleed over on that shadow. Okay. Yeah, maybe just being a box. Like sometimes, like you store a bunch of shoe boxes, and if the shoes never make it back into the box, then it's a box full of tissue paper. He felt strange calling himself shoebox when he all these years years he only held tissue paper. How can you call yourself a shoebox? So he felt this. Yeah, I can think of. I think. So how about he barely felt like a shoebox when all these years, yes, when all these years, when all these years he only held, oof, lots of typos. I think because it was all off screen. He barely felt like a shoebox when all these years he only held tissue paper. Okay, shoebox anymore when for years he only held tissue paper. So he barely felt like a shoebox anymore when for years he only held tissue paper. So is that held? Yeah, both. It's the right tense. I didn't change tenses or anything, did I? He barely felt like a shoebox anymore when for years he only held tissue paper. He barely felt like a shoebox anymore when for years he only held tissue paper. Okay. Ooh, lunch. Just something something stupid. He was tired of making healthy decisions. So choosing between a banana and an apple, he wanted a chocolate cupcake. He was tired. There we go. He was tired of making healthy decisions. Nice. He doesn't want to choose between a banana and an apple. So, about flat. He had obviously been open for longer than he admitted. Yeah, punchline is totally flat. Let's just do everything them was totally flat. Yeah, because they're looking away from each other. Everything between them was totally flat. Yeah, let's go with the short, spicy one. All right. Oh, wow. Only 2 more. That's crazy. To be involved in such disgusting work. All right. He felt too cute to be involved in such disgusting work. He's a cute little plastic bucket. Oh, I should put some, let me put some pattern or something on as well. So that the cute comes across, because maybe just the colors, and depending on how the colors reproduce, may not sell it. So let's try this. I'm drawing way too much vertical, but oh well. Oops. Oops. Come on. Did I duplicate? No. Okay. Try this again. Oh, no, I want a totally different layer. Okay, there. There we go. There we go. Is that cute, or does that make him look more disgusting? Should I fade it in a little bit? No, definitely not. Does that make him cuter? I can't tell. Uh-oh. Oh, thank you. Yes. Thank you, Unknown Girl. You got my typos. Thank you so much. I'll keep checking the chat. So they took different approaches. Oh, no, wait. What happened? Oh, that's what happened, is I erased my joke. Yeah, that's what happened. Okay. I did some kind of like step back in history. So let's try this again. Too cute for such disgusting work. Yeah, thanks for catching my typos. I appreciate that. All right. And there's not two T's in disgusting. Yeah, that's cute, right? Yeah, I think I stepped back because there's like a levels of undo in and they call it history in there's a keyboard shortcut to jump back in a number of steps in history. And I think I accidentally did that. Like I accidentally do that all the time. I have to be careful because if I wouldn't have caught that, if I was like I got obsessed with like drawing the flowers on the bucket, I would have not seen that it was that exact old joke. Yeah, I cannot upload one of these with a joke from a month ago on it. Wow. Okay. We're on the last one. Oh, geez. 9 cartoons in under 4 hours. Wow. New land speed record. Wow. I think we could do this in 3.5. Okay. So the joke was going to be he was either raisin or very old bread. Could be both. Raisin bread or old bread or possibly both. Was either raisin or, oh, how about raisin or moldy? Or possibly both. So how he was either raisin bread or moldy or possibly both. Is that the right? Yeah, I think that's the right. So actually there might be a semi. Do I need a semicolon? I'm not good with my semi and colon and semicolon. Raisin bread or moldy bread? Or possibly, I don't know. Yeah, just moldy. He was either raisin bread or moldy, or possibly, yeah, because he could just be moldy. I don't have to say bread twice. So he was either raisin bread or moldy or possibly both. Just old bread. All right. There we go. So that's saved. It was either raisin bread or moldy bread or possibly. Possibly. I almost screwed it up there. Possibly, because that's not a typo. Or possibly both. Not possible both. Possibly both. And that's one space. Yes. Yeah, I don't like the kerning on that Y. That always throws me. He was either raisin bread or moldy bread, or possibly both. Caught it. Yeah, the chance of making mistakes is much higher doing it this way. I gotta be extra careful when I'm at my lowest mental capacity, my lowest sharpness. I have to do the best. Okay, there we go. All right. He felt too cute for such disgusting work. Did I get, yeah, I got disgusting right. Yep. Yeah, I think adding something helped him look cute and funny. But at least the contrast between the desaturated sponge and the bright bucket should work. He felt too cute for such disgusting work. Nice. Yeah, the other thing I have to make sure I don't do is save it when it's in this reduced low-res state, because then I lose all of that work. All right, everything between them was totally flat, so no bubbles. Oh, actually, let me make sure that... So I'll just... So these don't look like bubbles. They're droplets, but I don't want them to look like bubbles. There we go. Totally flat. Actually, does it need it? It doesn't look like bubbles. It looks like drips on the outside. It's too bright. I'll keep it. It looks nice. Everything between them was just totally flat. Just. There we go. Was just totally flat, yeah. That's all it was. Nothing to be done. Everything between them was just totally flat. All right. Totally with 2 L's. All right. He was tired of making healthy decisions. This is on the level of a Garfield cartoon. Oh, well. He was tired of making healthy decisions. Okay. And decisions is spelled correctly. Wow. Okay. He barely felt like a shoebox anymore when for years he only held tissue paper. Barely felt like a shoebox anymore when for years he only held tissue paper. Yep. Everything looks right. Wow. And I think I kept a pretty consistent tone. And the style, I think, looks much more similar. So it's going to be nice, like 1 month at a time. If my drawing changes, like between weeks, sometimes my drawing changes a little bit. So this will keep things looking a little more consistent. Okay. The imprecision of the large scoop meant they already needed more eyes. All right. Yeah, that Y bugs me. I always think that's an extra space in there, but it's not. It's just the little serif on the Y. Maybe it's a little too long. But they don't want it to connect, with other letters. Okay. Neither of them could even imagine how coffee was made. Narsh. Neither. Neither of them could even imagine how coffee was made. They're too removed from the process. Maybe a coffee grinder could put it together, or a coffee pot, or a coffee machine. But they don't see anything beyond the grinding and the pouring. All right. The snack cakes were a surprise. Oh, wait. Oh, they both, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. I could actually, it's obvious what they are, right? I sometimes worry that my drawings aren't recognizable enough because they were both surprised to survive the initial assault. No. We'll keep snack cakes in there. It's a little clumsier, but it's clearer what the snack cakes were surprised. They both survived the initial assault. Yeah, it doesn't have I think shorter would have a better rhythm, but it's the snack cakes were surprised. They both survived the initial assault. There's a lot of words in there that I could have misspelled, but I didn't. All right. Man, D-O-M. All right. Oh, last one. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, well, no, but we already did this one first, though. That's right. We already did this. That's right. Wow. We're just spell checking. I forgot. Since I was doing some writing, I thought I was still writing. Only a few greasy napkins was all he had left to give. All right. Only a few greasy napkins were? Oh, damn. Only were. Maybe just for a few greasy napkins was all. A few or only a few. Oh, shoot. Were. Napkins were. How about only no. Only a few was all, yeah. It's the thing, right? They were. Napkins were. Only a greasy napkin was all he had left to give. Okay, let's just do a single. I'm so paranoid about this. A single greasy napkin was all he had left to give. Oh, let's just do inside instead of to give. Yes. So all that's left inside, and yeah, same to give inside. I think both are similar in tone. All right, no typos. A single greasy napkin was all he had left to give. A napkin was. I'm confident that the tense of that or the number is correct. All right. Oh, yeah, save it. I have to do this like a separate FTP session, Unknown Girl. Yeah, so you're asking if it directly uploads. Yeah, there's an FTP I upload to, and then it picks it up from there and puts it into the web page. A single greasy napkin was all he had left to give. Okay, that sounds even more sad and pathetic. Yeah, and it's kind of it just like there's a script, I think, on the server that just regularly picks it up, like right before it's supposed to be attached to the email and go out. Cha-chum! Okay, let's open one. The bread. And I will FTP them. Wow, this is crazy. We did it. Yeah, and wow, in under 4 hours. So 9 cartoons in under 4 hours. So before I was doing 2 cartoons in about, like when I first started, about 2 cartoons in 4 hours. So considerably faster. That's so funny. Yeah, and I guess I was on, it's been a while, and I was on enough of a roll that it went a little easier. And hopefully it didn't get too boring. The little nonsense I'm always talking about. But I always appreciate questions in the chat and stuff. That's really fun to talk with you guys about everything. Yeah, so that's 9, yeah. 9 cartoons. Whoa. So that's June. So June 2024. Yeah, so I'll just keep changing the month. And I'm not sure, like timing-wise, I'm just going to have to wait for a day that there's just nothing in the way. So that's going to be a little tricky, but yeah, should be. It'll definitely work once a month, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be like the 15th of the month or whatever, because that may fall on strange days. So yeah, and I don't have a social tab on this YouTube. So yeah, if you're interested, I'll maybe give you a heads up on the on Twitter, on X. Oh, and I should do an Instagram. I think I do have Instagram for this, but I should be posting these on Instagram as well. Seems like a waste, to not be hitting all that. Well, but then we just found out that they're training their AI. I don't think they need to train AI to make such a simple cartoon. I think it could probably handle it already. Nice. Yep, they're all there. We did it. 9 cartoons. Yeah, so that was from last Thursday to July, till the end of this month. Nice. Well, cool. Well, let's on our little victory lap here, let's do a few comments. I'll just show you guys. I won't go back and do the comments. I'll just show you you guys the ones that we missed. So these are the last few. This is May, I guess. So this is what we missed in May. Let me make this a little smaller. There we go. Now I can get out of the way of everything. Actually, let me just put me over here. I don't know. I don't even need to be here, do I? All right. Yeah, so what is this? May 28th? So yeah, last Tuesday, they took different approaches to UV protection. A combination of techniques works fairly well, but they both got along fine. Nice. Ottman is there. So the 23rd. Oh, another coffee joke. Once they were out of coffee filters, nothing made any sense. Go for the permanent filter. Yeah, that's right. A lot of coffee makers have that now, don't they? Like the mesh, the metal mesh. Oh, nice. I'm going to like both. If you're going to duplicate your comments, I'm going to like them both. May 21st. Oh, here's my one of the few political cartoons I've had in a while here. So they both felt all the drink water and touch grass discourse overlooked two of the world's fundamental problems. Yeah, I really hate the all the YouTuber like, oh, you need to touch grass or drink water, is like people like wishing you good health or something. But that's such a weird, isolated, like politically naive and like globally naive, stupid thing to say. Because grass is lawn, is manicured, is watered, is something that most of the world doesn't have. In fact, most of the world can't even grow grass. There's like maybe long scrub grasses somewhere, and clean water is like a huge issue. And people walk miles every day to carry clean water, from the source to their villages or to where they live. So it's so arrogant and so first world bullshit for people to say, drink water, touch grass. And that's just what these idiots say to each other. Yeah. Is the grass half full? Nice, Tony's son. So I hope people kind of got, let the grass drink the water. I hope people got the idea. But I hate that. I hate when people say that stupid, arrogant stuff. May 16th, she had lost track of which disagreements she was having with which saucers, so she just remained silent. I think I see a flying saucer coming her way. All right, and May 14th, he understood the concept but it was still hard to look at. A bag of pre-cut lettuce was like the invisible, or like the visible man, one of those medical models. Lettuce praise, saints preserve us. Nice. I got to do a lettuce pray joke. That's pretty good. Honeymoon salad, lettuce alone. Nice. All right. May 9th. The new flavor was not a big hit unless hitting the floor counted. Yay. And I think that's it. I think the rest of these I drew. Oh, no. I think I missed a lot. Yeah, I really did miss a lot. May 7th. Their total lack of similarities must have been the joke. Banana phone, like holding up a banana like a phone receiver. Sadly, you're modular. Interactive vocular. Where is that from? Okay, there we go. I had to look that up. Thank you. Banana phone. And Mesa, I think I drew this one on stream. Maybe not. They were all different artificial formulations of the concept of orange. Oh, wow. This says 5 comments. Yikes. Always a bridesmaid, never an orange, but secretly they all had tangerine dreams. Nice. Nice. Arson, Barson, Carson. What is that? All right. Nice. And what do we got here? April 30th. Dry sheets were helpless against emotional clinginess. It might need an assist from some fabric softener. She tried to get him to see things realistically, but he gave her a bunch of static. Oh, that's nice. And April. Yeah, I don't know if I drew any of these on stream. The pressure to not let this happen became the pressure that made it a certainty. Sometimes it's self-defeating to keep things bottled up. Nice, Tony's son. And I think this is the last one. This was certainly one way to wet his whistle. I prefer my water untweetened. Left him breathless. Nice. Wet the whistle joke. I think I'm trying to remember what I drew. It's been so long. I'm so sorry. It's been a long time. I think this was off stream too. He was old. Even his tape had given up on him. He was so old. Even his tape had given up. So much for being part of a package deal. Nice. Come on. There we go. And Bluetooth and emotional connections were two very different things. Why fight? Boy, Tony's son's got all the puns. And it was a technical difficulty in the end. Nice. And one more. Yeah, sorry, I've been gone. Yeah, I've been gone for a month. Last one. Oh, yeah, gummy coffee mugs. That's right. Failed spectacularly at their one job. Ew. Gummy coffee mugs. All right. Oh yeah, I think you're right on it, girl. I think they were naming the drinks. Nice. All right. Well, we'll leave you there with a gummy coffee mug. So come back in July, which will probably only be in a few weeks. In July, and we'll have another big round, nice long stream of cartooning and snacks. Hopefully, something better than pizza pie. And let me get back to the drawing here. And yeah, so that was June 2024, and of course, you can read all of the comics, 20 years of domestic abuse, on gocomics.com/domestic abuse. The link should be in the description below. And give us a like on this stream to see if it will show it to other people, which I don't think it really does. And also subscribe if you want to be notified when the July stream starts. And we'll do this again. So it was great to see everybody. And in the chat, Unknown Girl, thank you for hanging out. You got the time advantage. Gail, thank you so much for being here. And Matt, of course, keeping Matt up late, losing sleep. And Robbie, good to see you. Yeah, talking about old software, old technology. Crazy. But everyone take care. And and feel free to reach out on social media if you're curious about anything. And I'll let you know. I'll kind of keep I'll post some kind of notification on everything. I have the domestic abuse accounts, and I think they're all below. So if there's then my personal Instagram and Facebook and everything will always have that information. So everybody take care, and I will see you again in July, which is not that far away. So see you soon, and until then, goodbye.